How you doing, man? Hope everything's straight. Hope everything good.
Yeah, last week, shit, I just had a busy week between Friday being the 4th of July,
Yeah.
then my girl having a party of her own that the day after on Saturday. So yeah, it was just a busy week between the planning and actually attending it itself. Yeah, it was just a lot going on, but the free time ended up becoming available.
Gotcha. Well, I feel like it gave us enough time to like really have some more added to what we were going to talk about. You know, not too much, but some things happened in
So
between that time frame. So I think it worked out. Now I was going to ask, with the predictions, did we were going to do just the standings, right? Like list the standings by team.
um we could do standings. Like I said, this is the initial feel. How I
Right.
wanted us to do it is we kind of break it up in four segments. So
Okay.
we do now the first draft of it.
Right.
Then we can, as we get more information, like near training camp, which should start soon, or we could just do it right before preseason. So we could do another go around right before preseason, then
Right.
obviously right before the season start, we
Okay.
can do a third one. So yeah, we don't need to do it 4 times. We can have it
Okay.
uh, just go around right before preseason, and then the final record predictions right before the season start. So we could just do it that way.
Okay. And then let me grab the I gotta grab the topic list real quick so I know where I'm starting. Let's see. All right, bet. I'm gonna grab that and then let me grab the article for this. Okay. So I'm gonna jump straight into wrapping up the finals recap and then
Okay.
go to Malik Beasley from there because I feel like that'd be a good segue out of the NBA once we finish that topic. So then we can get into the NFL. Um,
So
before I get to the NFL one though, are you cool or you like this Ramsey Steelers trade A Rod retirement announcement being like, I guess the headline topic, or is there something else you feel like should take that place?
I definitely feel like there are more intriguing storylines out there.
Right.
Um, in terms of my takeaway from it, number one, the Aaron Rodgers retirement thing. I do feel like it will somewhat take away from the season
Yeah.
because instead of them going out there competing every game, it's going to be all right. Yeah, we got to make these last 17 games. These are the last games we're gonna see from them. So, um, my initial feel
Well,
is
hold
that
on. You don't got to get into it right just yet. I was saying
okay.
more so. Do you want to talk about it as a topic? Like, is it something you still want to
Um,
touch on, or you feel like we should segue that into something else?
uh, now the Aaron Rodgers storyline thing. Um, I don't feel like entirely it has to be a topic.
Yeah.
Now the Jalen Ramsey for Minka swap, that right there is I haven't made sense out of that yet.
Yeah.
Um, I really don't think neither team improved, or I can't look at this as a win-win for
Type
both
shit.
sides
Exactly. Yeah.
because if you are Miami, you gave away Minka.
Yeah.
I think in his second year
Second
in
year.
the
Yep.
league, you just gave him away. So now you want him back, and I don't even know who Miami starting corners are at this moment. Just like I don't know who Pittsburgh free safety is now.
Mm-hmm.
As if Minka is a free safety. I'm
Mm-hmm.
not sure if he's a strong or a free, but I did hear some rumors that they may be considering moving J Ram to safety now. They may be trying to convert him later on in his career to a safety. Because I obviously can't see him starting over Darius Slay, who they paid money for,
Yeah.
and you still have Joey Porter Jr.
Yeah.
So where was Ramsey gonna fit anyway if he's listed as a third corner?
Exactly.
Like, because you're not gonna put Ramsey at that age in the slot. He can't guard the slot at that age. He don't have the foot speed no more to do
Yep.
that. So, but not to drag that out, yeah, it was just a move that didn't really make a lot of sense. So now you're a lot weaker at safety now.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
what?
Shit, I mean, I really don't have nothing else to add. To me, it's one of those things again where I don't really know what the Steelers are considering most of the
Right.
time. I mean, I guess you wanted to maybe strengthen the defense because you felt like maybe you couldn't make the moves you wanted to make this season right now on the offensive side. So maybe you're trying to, put together some band-aids on defense. But I feel like the urge to want to trade for these aging players, especially DBs, when it comes to, I don't know, I'm not even gonna say just the Steelers, but the league in general, I don't get it most of the time. I mean, maybe Jalen's got more upkeep and value in the fact that he is respected, you know what I'm saying, in his position. So I guess you bring that veteran to the locker room. You kind of secure that with Cam Hayward on the D line. A lot of these things they could be thinking like I think they're moving like they know a lot of things that we don't. Which is, that's their organization. So of course they do, but that's what it seems like to me. I don't know what their thoughts are with stuff. I have no idea why this was something they wanted to do. And then
Okay.
moving Jalen to safety, I mean, I guess you let him play safety. If you're gonna let him play free, I can see that, but I don't think he can play strong.
Right.
So you let him play free safety. I don't know.
Mm.
I mean, I still don't see where the real value is in that. So yeah, I figured I'd
Okay.
just ask because it's on the topic list, but at the same time, I'm like, I don't know if we're gonna get too much out of this.
Okay.
But yeah, that's my
I
thoughts on
did.
that.
I did want to ask you this. So just off the top of your head, who would you consider the top 5 to top 7 safeties in the league?
Hmm. I'm gonna go with
Let me just list the names out there,
okay,
and then
okay,
you could rank them
okay.
after. So you have
Shit.
Darius Slay out there. You have
Mm-hmm.
Pat Surtain. You have Trent McDuffie on the Chiefs. You have Sauce. You have Denzel Ward.
Oh, so we talking about
You have
corners. We talking about corners.
corners. Yeah,
Okay.
corners. You have Denzel Ward, Jalen Johnson.
Yeah.
What's dude name? He went to LSU. Stingley
Derek
on the
Stingley.
Texans. Marlon Humphrey.
Yep. Yep.
Trying to think NFC.
You already got Jalen. You already got what about Jair? You still throwing him on that list or no?
He's in the AFC now. But
Oh
his
yeah, he is, ain't he? Damn.
those injuries, those injuries. In terms of an elite corner, I mean, he got to show you he can play more than 9 to 10
Yeah.
games a
Yeah.
year.
What about
So
AJ Terrell?
I'll put AJ out there
Yeah.
as an elite corner. And I mainly wanted to like realistically name those who really fit the top 10
Mm-hmm.
threshold.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we pretty much got everybody in there.
I say at one, I'm a,
Christian Gonzalez
at
for the
one I'm
Patriots.
doing Pat for sure.
Okay.
I'm gonna be real with you. Coming into the league, I really favored Sauce just because I think the stat was what he had never had a touchdown. He never had a touchdown thrown on him his entire collegiate career. So that stat alone was like, all right, bet. And of course, he's got the size. I'm gonna say, damn, that's tough, bro. Because Pat is easily one. I seen so much of Jalen. I want to just throw him top 3. I'm gonna
Okay.
go. I'm gonna go Pat, Sauce, Jalen, Humphrey,
Jalen who?
um,
You said Pat,
Jalen Johnson.
Okay,
Pat, Sauce, Jalen.
Pat Sauce, Jalen. That's 3.
That's 3. I'm gonna go. Damn. This is gonna get tough. Just for the sake of time, I'm gonna go Trent and then Humphrey.
Okay.
That's my top 5 DBs right now. Where are you at with it?
If I had to rank those corners that we're currently talking, see, it's if we really talking about who got the scraps, like
Yeah,
all excuses to the side,
yeah,
PS2 got it for sure.
for sure.
Regardless of the pass rush, regardless of the scheme, you just go out there and get it done.
Yep.
So I say PS2 is the consensus number 1. Then you got corners like Trent McDuffie. It's hard for me to list him in the top 5 because I know his body of work. I know the PFF grades, his coverage grades. I know all of this screaming elite corner, but we can't forget LeJarry Sneed looked that same way when he was playing in that scheme.
That's true.
In Spag scheme, he had the pass rush to make it easier for him as a LeJarry Sneed was literally an all-pro corner. But then when he didn't have that same scheme, he went to Tennessee. He looked like he fell off a hill. So that's the only thing when it comes to, I think now we have to start looking at the cornerbacks in KC the same way we looked at them during those New England days, which is that you can be a good corner, but we know the scheme is really going to highlight. Like, look at players like what's dude name that caught the pick in the Super Bowl? Malcolm Butler. Look at corners like him who fit great in the scheme in Belichick's scheme as a man-to-man corner, but you was average anywhere else.
Yep.
So there's another dude. He played for the Falcons. But not to get off topic.
You're not talking about AJ. You're talking about fuck, I know his name. What are you talking about? Let me look it up real quick.
Yeah, but not to get off topic too much. The thing that I feel like cornerbacks, their money is really going to get questioned in the near future. That's really how I feel. And it's a reason I was trying to go somewhere with this when I was asking you to list who you feel like the top 5, top 7 corners. And as you list them, I don't believe none of those corners are on winning teams. Or
what, Broncos?
So the Broncos finished like what, the 6, 7 seed?
Yep.
Right?
And to be fair, I feel like they could have finished stronger if the NFL wanted that to happen. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
If that, but yeah, keep going.
So, but as you list these, so you got Trent McDuffie. Okay, he's on the Chiefs. And I just made a point out of that by saying he's in a great situation. The scheme is going to highlight a lot of his abilities. But when you really start to really look around the league, really look at a lot of the players who are paid elite money on defense, I really think teams are going to start questioning giving out these contracts, these big contracts to cornerbacks, even if they are elite. Because you got to think about it. You're going to give an elite corner, because this is the market for an elite corner. The top 5 corners we speaking of. You're paying them $20+ million, an elite corner. As an elite corner, you can't stop anything but just your side of the field.
Literally.
In today's games, we see it all the time. The team is going to take the number 1 receiver, move him all over the field, put him in a slot, etc. 9 times out of 10, that elite corner is not traveling. So how are you paying an elite corner $20+ million a year to just play one side of the field? He's not, the average corner isn't going to go to the slot. Think about it. How many elite corners do you actually see travel and follow the best team's best receiver? it's too easy to avoid elite corners. And I feel like I don't look at an elite corner the way I look at an elite linebacker. An elite linebacker could disrupt the game much more than an elite corner can. You get what I'm saying? Or let's say you got an elite pass rusher on your D line. He can absolutely disrupt every single play, and a corner cannot do that. He can make it to where the quarterback can avoid him or not throw on that side of the field. But I feel like it's much easier to negate an elite cornerback as it is an elite linebacker or pass rusher. Look at players like Max Crosby. He's on a losing team. The defense is what it is. But every time he puts his hand in the dirt, in some way, shape, or form, he's disrupting the play.
Yeah.
You cannot say that about certain corners, man. I'm really trying to get you to think about it. And I think that alone is going to get people to start questioning the money that they're giving these cornerbacks, man. Because I know some players got low got like, all right, let me give you another example.
Mm-hmm.
The guy who they keep talking highly of in Philadelphia, Quinyon Mitchell.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. In the scheme that he played that we all know of, which is Fangio's scheme. Everywhere Fangio has went, he has made cornerbacks
Yes, he has.
look elite.
Yes, he has.
Everywhere. He had people talking bro, he had people talking highly about Bryce Callahan. I remember it. I remember when he left and went to the Broncos.
I remember that.
And everybody was saying,
Kyle Fuller
yeah,
was like that too. That was under Fangio
right.
defense.
So it's like, I feel like a player like Quinyon Mitchell, all everybody talking about is his coverage grades, this and that, and now they compare his season, his rookie season last year to 2009 Darrelle Revis, man. I was like, what are we talking about? Because they put up a stat that showed Quinyon Mitchell guarding Drake London, Stephon Diggs, and a couple other receivers and holding them to below 40 yards. That shit is obviously an illusion, because if you didn't follow that player for the entirety of the game, that's a misleading stat.
Yep.
You get what I'm saying? So, not to get off topic about it, but I really feel like teams are going to shift away from paying cornerbacks. I feel like there's only going to be like 3 cornerbacks going forward that's paid that type of money. Honestly, man. Honestly. And I think cornerback is probably the hardest position to play.
Definitely.
In terms of what you're asked to do, because you got to backpedal every play. You got to backpedal and react every single damn play. But I think the NFL is going to get away from that being a premium position to pay money to. I really feel that way, man. But that's just my.
Yeah, I'm gonna chime in with a disagreement, because
Okay. Well, like, what's your viewpoint on it, and how do you feel like there is a higher significance when it comes to the need for an elite corner?
I think, to be real with you, you don't when it comes to cornerback in general, hardest position to play on the field. And the situation with cornerbacks is usually cut and dry, where it's the impact of a cornerback is really to not be needed. You know what I'm saying? In a situation of somebody like Darrelle Revis, I know we just mentioned him, the whole thing that make Revis special is that as long as you have Revis on one side of the field, you pretty much are saying to yourself as a coordinator, defensive coordinator for your side, offensive coordinator on the other side, is saying, we just not going to look that direction. And if you are going to look that direction, all Revis wants to do the whole game is just make his presence felt, in the sense of, I'll give it to you like this. With some DBs come to the realization of, I feel like, especially in the NFL, is that you are going to have to specialize in something. You know what I mean? Some part of your game plan has to be exceptional, so that a coordinator, like we were saying with a Fangio, can look at your talent pool or your talent traits and say, okay, here's what I feel like I can slide you in on this spot on the field, and you maybe be able to make an impact. A lot of times teams, and you know this because just think about Packers teams. A lot of times
Mm.
teams will use their DBs and they'll sit on a good corner for probably, I said the average team will sit on a good cornerback for about 3 years. About 3 years of a season, if a guy come in his rookie year and maybe let's say he's not doing nothing crazy rookie year, but second year he turned that curve. Look at a guy like Jalen. What's the Carolina guy? Jalen Horn? Is that his name? Jalen Horn?
JC Horn.
JC Horn. What I think he in his fourth year his contract, third year his contract?
He came in the league, I believe, 2020.
2020. So this is fifth season. So you looking at a guy that
Yeah.
3 years ago he was shaping up to be one of the best corners in the league at that time period. We was putting him in conversations, yada yada yada. But you spend 5 years with Carolina, you know what I'm saying? It's one of those things where you just like you just said, the longevity of your career comes off of what you're able to really get comfortable with the right situation. Most of these guys are top 5 picks in their position in the draft, and they go to teams that usually need a corner like Sauce, where it's like, again with the Max Crosby thing, Max is a great example of somebody putting in exceptional work for no reason. They went 4-13 last year. JJ Watts, same situation. We watched that happen the entire time he was with Houston, where it's like, okay, you got a dominant force on your defensive on your defensive side, but the pieces just never match up while he's there. That happens too often with corners, man. And you just said it, where it's like none of these guys are in situations where the success warrants the team success. You feel what I'm saying? Like me succeeding on my own is not doing much when the record is showing we're not even making the playoffs. Jalen ain't seen the playoffs since his rookie year. I mean, and that's just take that for what you will, but in reality, it's one of those situations where everything that we talking about with the guys that are getting paid, they usually in situations where like, damn, if you wasn't here, we probably would have nothing on this side of the field. Gonzalez finna reach that same point. He finna get that same payday conversation where it's like, if you New England, did you let Gonzalez go? Because think about how
No,
valuable that corner position is when you got dogs. You got a Tyreek Hill in Miami. You got Buffalo ain't really got nothing going, but you're gonna have a lot of these divisions where that wideout talent, you need somebody there to make sure Jamar Chase know, look, hey, at the end of the day, I know on my other 3 guys you can get off on, but 75% of your routes is getting stopped on this one.
I got you. Where I was really going at with it is instead of paying like one elite corner tons of money and then having a bunch of mid at 2, 3, and 4, I was trying to go more direction of having cornerback by committee. Like look at a team like I can't really look at it in the same way now, but let's see, like 2 years ago, a team like Dallas who
Yeah.
had Gilmore,
Yeah.
Diggs,
Yeah.
Bland. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like 3 deep. And that was before they decided to pay the big money to Trayvon Diggs. Trayvon Diggs had to go out and have that big year that he had to eventually get 90 mil from Dallas.
Facts.
But before that, you had 2 solid youngins under contracts that you drafted, which was Bland and Diggs. Then you had the OG with experience that you wasn't paying a lot of money for, which was Gilmore. Gilmore wasn't paid a lot of money. So that's why I was really going at with it. Another team that used the same formula was Philly. We just seen it. You had Darius Slitt in his contract not getting paid much, and then you drafted 2 youngins, Cooper DeJean and Quinyon Mitchell. You was 3 deep at corner instead of paying all this money for one elite corner. You get what I'm saying? That's why I was trying to go at with it, like having depth instead of being a team like what's an obvious example?
Shit, the Bengals.
I mean, do they have an elite corner? Do they
Oh,
have
that's
one
what you're
elite
looking for.
corner?
You saying there's one guy and then nobody else. Okay. Shit. Right
Yeah,
now, I say Chicago like that right now. We got Jalen Johnson and that's it.
okay. So that one, another team like the Packers, you paying Jair his 20 plus mil every year, but you got Keyshawn Nixon,
Yep.
Eric Stokes, like you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Like, no, man. So that's and
But
I
you
just
don't
feel
feel
like
like that's like that's the situation presenting itself, because I feel like every year you are gonna get that tandem. Same thing with wideouts where you got seasons where you're gonna have a Devontae Smith and an AJ Brown that's gonna complement each other. And even if you get them, especially when you get them early and you got this guy running on a rookie contract and you got this guy waiting to get paid, or that's just got paid at least, and he's your solidified guy, but then you got maybe a youngin coming in that's really been showing out, and then you get another rookie or something like that. I feel like that's always those tandems pop up situationally when you get that right pairing of defensive coordinator, vet, young guy. Because really, I mean, when we're talking about DB, it's always gonna favor the young guys. Because somewhere in
Okay.
that crop, you're gonna get a guy with enough confidence and enough responsibility given to him by his coaches that allows him to really stand out amongst the crop. You feel what I'm saying? Pat Surtain came in day one with a lot on his shoulders and just literally took whatever situation he was gonna get in. And thank God he went to Denver because look what happened. But a lot of these guys like JC Horn get in these situations where they give it they all those first 2-3 seasons, but they never get a match on the coaching side. I mean, think about how many defensive coordinators we don't talk about. You know what I'm saying? And for good reason. You also got to think: are they wasting talent? Is there a cornerback pool full of guys that can really stand out, but they're being wasted because the guy can't scheme for his own team?
Um. So let's look at let's look at pre let's look at pre 2015, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the year 2000 to like 2015,
Okay.
that 15-year gap right there. Um, would you like how the game is defensively structured now, or would you have preferred it back then? And I'm not talking about from a on the field perspective in terms of the rules and what they allow the players to do, because obviously we know players had more freelance back then. You obviously can play the game with more ruthless aggression.
Yep.
He was able to attack
Yep.
quarterbacks down low.
They was
He
getting it
was able to
in.
hit across the middle. Right. So we obviously know they had more freedom back then. But I wasn't really going there with it. I'm really talking about how defenses were structured back then. Because the Bears teams back then,
Mm.
I knew who cornerback one was.
Yep.
It was
Charles
Charles
Tillman.
Tillman. And y'all had
We had
what's
Nathan
his name?
Basher. We had
Tim Jennings, right?
yep, Tim Jennings. Yep.
Tim Jennings at number 2. When you look at, like you said, Darrell Reeves, we had Darrell as cornerback 1,
Mm-hmm.
but we all know he had cornerback 2 as Antonio Cromartie.
Mm-hmm.
Those Patriots teams, they always had they star corner, but they always had a number 2. It was
Mm-hmm.
always Asante, Ty Law, like
Mm-hmm.
we can go on and on. So the Steelers, you had Ike Taylor, you had Ryan Clark.
Mm-hmm.
They was always loaded. So when you look at these teams, and I feel like defenses, the route that they took back then, I just feel
The game was different for them to prep for as well. Because I feel like, I mean, once we started getting into years where quarterbacks started getting how do I want to say this? Quarterbacks started getting preferential treatment in a very obvious way. I think defenses had to schematically break back down because it's
okay.
not even. I feel like now. I mean, you tell me what you think, but the league is not looking for tenacious defenses. They're looking for good schemes. They're looking for good schemes, good personnel with good personality. You know what I'm saying? So they'll take a max like even let's think about the dogs we got in today's league, right? Do we have a Ronnie Lott? Do we? I mean, we know we don't got a Ray Lewis, but do we have a? Do we have a? And I don't want to get too into it, but do we got a Julius Peppers, a Lance Briggs? Like we got guys that are dogs, you know what I'm saying, linebacker wise, but you are not really allowed to have personality while
I
doing
feel
that.
like
You know what I'm
I feel
saying?
like the I feel like the only and like I said, I didn't think about it like this, but this is probably why I have that feeling, because maybe this is where the league is trying to get us to go, which is probably the point that you again. But I feel like because just strictly look at the defensive player of the year winners.
Yeah.
Like I believe like over the last 10 years, majority of them have been pass rushers, right?
Yep.
The only player that's a DB that has won it recently was Stephon Gilmore. I think that was in 2019.
Yeah.
But other than that, we know Aaron Donald won like 3. We know J.J. Watt won like 3 of them.
Cameron Jordan won
Miles
one, right?
Who?
Cameron Jordan.
Hell no, they would never give that
He
shit
didn't
to
win one.
the.
I thought he won
Nah, they would never give it to a Saints defensive player. But
one.
J.J. Watt won it. Myles Garrett won it.
Yeah.
Who won it last year? But you see where I'm going at with this, right? Like I just listed like over the last 10 years, these awards have been going to pass rushers.
Yeah.
Like no middle linebacker love, no
Pat
defensive
won
back.
last year.
Patrick, so Pat and Gilmore, they're the only 2 DBs that have won it. So 8 of the last 10 awards have went to pass rushers.
I think when it comes to what the league is doing, I mean, Josh Allen is throwing the ball like 57 times a game. So it's like your chances, I just feel like as a cornerback, the league is harder than it's ever been to stand out because I mean the margin for error is so thin. Like you're fighting PI calls half the time. And the PI calls is I hate to say it, I mean the shit is tied into the point shaving. It's tied into everything that they got, operating. So with the league being more entertainment geared, I just don't think they value corner. I think your point is already in existence. I feel like the value of the cornerback has went down because the league has tailored the game to make it to where only exceptional DBs can stand out. You know what I'm saying? I just don't think you can take a lot of those guys. Like I don't even think an Antonio Cromartie could. I don't want to say it like this, but I just don't know what kind of career he would really have in today's league. I mean, look at the guys they got. I mean, look at Devontae, bro. They letting Devontae carry 190 on his body, 180. That shit is just not a thing in 2001. You know what I'm saying? Like that's a light receiver who knows at the end of the day, if I do get killed on the field, he probably gonna get ejected. They probably gonna change a couple of rules for me. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just a different level than I'm gonna have to get. Your smallest guys was Ocho Cinco size. You feel what I'm saying? Then every once in a while you get a Deshaun Jackson. But even then, it's like, okay, you playing Deshaun Jackson one way because he can't take punishment. You're not even really trying to put him across the middle of the field unless he got the outside leverage and he just going to take it, off the linebacker. But you're not trying to get these guys sacrificed. And they getting littler and littler, in my opinion. So that's just a lot more speed in the NFL now than I think we had before.
Because I'm really trying to think about who were really the small receivers back then. Because like you said, you had Ocho Cinco, you had players like Brandon Lloyd, who was skinny as hell.
Mm-hmm.
You had 5'9" Wes Welker.
Shit, Johnny Knox got killed because he was for the Bears.
Man.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, look at the side. You know what I'm saying? That shit. I feel
that was.
And that's before the league was really. That was before the league was doing anything about anything. You know what I'm saying? AB got devastated because of the same shit. Where if we really being realistic, the league has isolated those events to make it to where the game is just safer. You know what I'm saying? And whatever you think safe means.
I would to jump on that. The first time I really seen them make a move was 2010. No, the first time I seen them make a move was 2008. It was after 2008. That's when the safety for the Ravens, it was week 1, when he dove into Brady's leg and tore his ACL. No, it wasn't Ed. It was Bernard Pilot. He had And he had intentionally went low on Brady. That's
See?
when they enforced the rule you can't go low on quarterbacks no more.
Hey, that right
That
there.
was in
That's what it'll
2000.
do. You doing it to Brady too? Come on now.
So that was that. And then 2010, I remember this shit. That's when the NFL they got hit with these concussion
Yep.
lawsuits. All those former players started saying they can't remember their kids' birthdays no more. They could barely walk and shit. So for real, that's when the NFL that concussion lawsuit costed them at least a bill.
Yep.
And then the very next year was the lockout year. That's when the entire offseason was canceled because the NFLPA they had to negotiate a new CBA for the league. So that's when I first seen the NFL make a move when it comes to player safety, especially 2010. And they didn't give a fuck about the players. They did it because those concussion lawsuits costed them some bread, bro.
Yep.
And
But
it came down
I
to
will say they cared about Tom Brady. Anytime,
for sure.
and fast forward that to today's standards. Look at all the quarterbacks we got here because a lot of these the identities of the league, the faces of the league, they had to be protected. And there's only so many times that you can say like we're being competitive. Because when you got Andrew Luck walking away from the league, I think people don't think about what that meant for the NFL. Because had he not been Andrew Luck, I think he could have really shitted on the NFL when he early retired. From a quarterback's perspective, you got a quarterback saying, look, I am not going to play this game no more because of the damage it's doing to my body. Once people start asking the right questions, all it takes is for you to be like, okay, so what steps has the NFL made to, ensure that, quarterback safety or safety for all players? It's just gonna go that route. Then you got guys like Mahomes coming in. You can't let Mahomes ever fall down to one of these guys. It don't like people don't understand like what would a Mahomes this season be this year? The ESPN, the NFL, all of these brands are tied into the identity of the league at that time. And the times that you're referring to in the early 2000s at least, defense was king. You had guys like Troy Polamalu, Ray Lewis. You coming off of rest in peace, Sean Taylor. You coming off of Dion basically saving the Atlanta Falcons franchise. Like all these things that was happening on the defensive side of the ball was making the game exciting because then you got these electric guys on offense and you got some of the best physical athletes in the world colliding on the defensive side. It only starts to boggle down or really knock itself down when the talent starts to get too lopsided. And I think the league was too worried with the style of play that Belichick and Brady was running to allow that to look at Peyton Manning on the opposite side. You got these slow, immobile quarterbacks that really can't take punishment. They're getting older in age. You letting them stay pocket passers for so long. The whole 2000s was pocket passer era. You get what I'm saying? So it's like now we reach into this I guess I don't know what I would call it, but I would say this new era in football where we talking about the biggest prospect in Arch Manning. One of his biggest assets is the fact that he can run the ball. And I want people to really think about what that means. Like we went from Lamar Jackson being an anomaly in 2018 to we're talking about damn near every quarterback incorporating some bit of mobility into their, repertoire. And if you can't really move like that, if you can't really shine outside of sitting in the pocket, how many guys are we talking about? How many guys right now in the NFL playing quarterback cannot extend the play? You know what I'm saying? Like that 2010 to 2016, 18 time period, it redesigned the quarterback situation to where now I think the league just goes with identities. And the identity of the league now is high mobility at all positions, get you shifty wide receivers, and get you a deep threat that you can, have a reliable target for your quarterback. And on the defensive side, get you maybe a linebacker or a D lineman. And if you don't have a linebacker or a D lineman, get you a Sauce Gardner. Because defense is not going to win. Chance, you and I know, bro, like they are just not letting football be played out there no more. So your defense is the first sign to break down because if you get in these 15-yard penalties, in make or break moments, as a defense, you can't keep that momentum going. I mean, if you held Patrick Mahomes down on a 35-yard line on a 3 and out, and then on a 4th down play, he decided to go for it, and they bail him out 2 times, and now he flipped the, you know what I'm saying? We flipping the field. You not finna, it ain't really much you can do. The whole schematic of what we're playing, what the play call is, has changed now. So in my opinion, just to wrap that up, I think everything you're saying is valid, but I think it's because the NFL has had so much leeway in allowing the offense to remain supreme while not rewarding defenses in even small ways.
Gotcha. As we was talking about how the talent has evolved at the quarterback position and mobility is a huge factor, I did want to ask you this. At the quarterback position, who do you feel like, not even quarterbacking, man, just on the offensive side of the ball, but it's probably going to be a quarterback that you put as your answer anyway. But who do you feel like is the most influential player to have ever played? Not the greatest, not the best, but the most influential offensive player ever. Who do you feel like that is? And who you feel like had the biggest impact, like really changed and made the game evolve? I'm curious to know who your answer is.
Of all time, that's hard. All time, it's hard.
I don't think it's hard, man.
Who's you about to say? Because I might agree with you. I'm just not thinking about it.
In terms of who I feel like I said, I can't speak really for like pre-2000. So for the 90s, the 80s, and the 70s, my apologies. But we just talking about from what I have witnessed and what I can attest to. Who I feel like is the most influential offensive player ever to really change the game, I feel like it's Michael Vick. That's really how I feel, man. I really feel like he really made it to where, like, and I really feel like he had that Mahomes impact, but without the social media. But what he did to the game, like 04, 2000 and Vic, come on, man. Come on, man. And and the league didn't know what the fuck to do with Vic. His team didn't even know what to do with him. You get what I'm saying? So, and I'm talking about he changed when I say he changed the game, he changed the way teams like scouted on defense.
Literally.
You couldn't have Warren Saps out there.
You had to have
You had to have right. You had that that's when teams defensively, they knew, okay, we gotta get us a Von Miller off that edge. You gotta really have a John Abraham, a Robert Mathis. You gotta really a Julius Peppers. You gotta really have somebody coming off that. A Khalil Mack.
Yep.
That's forever. I'm trying to tell people, bro. Michael Vick, when it comes to changing the way the game is played and how teams address their defense and how they draft, I think people really got to give Vick his flowers, man. Like, and we obviously know he wasn't the first of his kind. Like, we obviously know we had the Randall Cunninghams out there, but man, when it came to being a mobile quarterback or like
I think
a
he was the
dual
first
threat,
of his kind. I think he was the first of his kind for real.
And I would like, he was like the first when it comes to like really being a rushing quarterback. Yep. But when it comes to being mobile, Cunningham was a mobile quarterback also. Even though he couldn't like really rip it in open field like Vic could, he still was a dual threat. You get what I'm saying? So,
but you redefining dual threat with Vic. You redefining it, because if you saying Cunningham was dual threat, once Vic come in the league, I mean, it ain't even like you talking about.
I mean, but Vic was a one read quarterback though.
And he was also left-handed.
Yeah.
So you got to think teams. You even got to imagine when Vic is rolling out the pocket, the last thing his ass want to do is throw the ball. To be real with you, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like the mentality is, and I'm not. This is no disrespect to Vic as a quarterback because he definitely got arm talent. But the mentality is, if you want me to kill you with my legs, I will type shit. You know what I'm saying? Give me something open, because you got a better chance of either batting this ball down, picking it off, or I throw an inaccurate pass cross body than you do me not picking up a first down. I feel like that alone is game changing.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go.
So what
I'm gonna co-sign that. I don't have an argument better than that.
for sure. But yeah, I really don't see people like really bring that to attention or really make a topic out of that. I don't know if it's just because you know what I mean. People don't want nothing to do with them or
Yeah, I
talk
think they
about.
tarnished that image, man.
Right, right. Damn, man. Like, damn, man.
And they tried to
That
bring it back
that
around, obviously the Philly contract, Steelers, all that. But I'm talking about after his career, he's doing he do a lot of the Pro Bowl stuff. Like he's still affiliated with the league, but how Vic is not an announcer or how he don't have a contract
right.
with like ESPN, I don't know how it works. I don't know how you have Michael Vick in the league where now almost all of your quarterbacks show some signs of mobility and you don't want him commentating on that. You don't want him. He could even have a John Gruden kind of show. You know what I'm saying? If they wanted to,
Yeah,
how John Gruden was doing the quarterback drafts. I mean, why not let Vic do that now? They all looked up to Vic. This is his crop. He raised these
yeah.
quarterbacks. You feel what I'm saying? So I think the NFL knew exactly what they was doing. Um,
Mm.
and I think they tried to make like good on it, and Vic for financial reasons, maybe whatever, came back and made amends with the league, but they definitely shitted on him. So, but that's a good question because I thought you was talking all the time, and I'm like, I thought about Vic too, but I'm like, damn, can I? That's it's only 20 years. I'm like, do I go back far and think hard enough? But with what you just said,
Yeah,
who I've seen, I got to give it to Vic.
yeah, for real.
And the
And then
league
that
changed,
turn,
bro. I'm sorry, not to cut you off, but the league changed because you
uh,
remember Pat White.
Pat White, Pat White.
He played for the Dolphins. He got drafted for the Dolphins. In college, he played for West Virginia. But Pat White was another dual threat killer. Like I'm talking about,
What year was he drafted?
he was drafted probably like 09, maybe 08. Let me
Let me
look this
see.
up.
I think I know who you're talking about.
He was the one that got that nasty ass hit on the sideline in Miami.
Somebody
Nailed his
nailed his
ass.
ass.
Nailed his
Yeah,
ass.
I remember this. This was like during like the Wildcat days too.
And Pat White was only
That
6. He was probably 6 feet 190. So you got to think
yeah,
like the league has changed, man. Like they don't let players even think about hitting quarterbacks with that type of effort. You feel what I'm saying? And I think that
yeah,
mental note is something that you can't overlook because these are guys that are playing full speed at all times. So if they don't think they're gonna get flagged for it, if they don't think they're gonna get a fine or ejected, they're gonna hit the fuck out of you. You know what I'm saying? Just because
right.
that's the art of the game, that's the craft. But once they started protecting these quarterbacks after these
Damn.
plays start coming up, yeah, I mean the league is just again Russell Wilson existing, Kyler Murray existing. It shows us like they did something to the quarterback position where anybody can damn near play that bitch.
And all that shit started like from 2010, 11,
Yep,
12.
yep,
Think about the quarterbacks that
yep.
came in the league those 3
Literally,
years.
literally,
RG3,
literally.
Russell Wilson, Tim Tebow,
And if
like
you ran the ball, you got punished to the point where you had no career.
Cam Newton, like
Nobody,
that shit.
and none of them had careers, bro. Think about that. Think about the names you just named. None of them had longevity because at that time they was allowing certain quarterbacks, especially, to still get punished. But before they even started giving rules out, everybody was getting licks in. They was getting fucked up. Brady was getting fucked up. Brady just didn't run the ball. He just didn't lead the pocket.
Yeah. I remember what's dude name? Uh he was y'all right in. This had to be like in the early 2010s. I think his name was Shea McClellan.
Yeah,
He
yeah,
he he dumped Aaron Rodgers into the
yeah.
turf,
I
snapped his
remember
damn
that shit.
collarbone.
That shit was crazy.
So yeah, they had to tweak these rules for real. Yep, 2011. No, this was 2010. No, it was 2011. Somebody was chasing Peyton Manning and broke his damn neck.
I remember that shit. I remember that shit. And you gotta tell me, bro, like, if you the commissioner at that time, bro, like, are you just saying it's just football? Like, I'm just like, just be real. Are you thinking it's just football, more entertainment that everybody happy, or are you like, come on, bro, like, I had 3 fucking championships lying for this guy, and I don't know what's gonna happen with Imagine if Peyton couldn't come back. Imagine all the storylines we don't get.
Yeah, that's one of your money makers.
You know what I'm saying? You can't let shit like that slide. You letting what
Yeah,
fucking
you
outside
gotta protect
linebackers do
your
that? Come on.
you gotta protect your assets. These are investments, man.
Investments, literally. It's entertainment and it's fun and shit, but like, how is it entertainment? I mean, how is it entertaining if you letting the best of your crop just get murdered?
Yeah, this yeah, they couldn't keep doing that, man. And the NBA is the same way. The
Mm-hmm.
NFL and the NBA they work the same way. You gotta protect your superstars. So the same way you see players like Luca, LeBron, Curry, etc. They're the superstars. So they gonna get the favorite call. They gonna get the bullshit calls from the
Yep.
referees. Get
Yep.
sent to the free throw line.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Get about 8 free throws a night. Spike up your points for the night. So that's what you do. You got to make sure your superstar players keep their numbers up
Keep
there.
them fed.
They have the same formula in the NFL. Why you think Mahomes, Prime Aaron Rodgers, Peyton Manning,
Yep.
Brady? Why you think their offensive line never got called for holding? You let the offensive line hold for a little longer, they can go make the right read, get the ball out their
Exceptional
hand.
play. ESPN
Right.
top center.
That's how this shit go. But you're not letting Bo Nick's offensive line do that shit. He's Bo Nix. He's not Patrick Mahomes. So that's how it works, man. They gonna find ways to keep their superstars numbers up there.
Yeah.
But when they ready to clip you, when they ready to get you up out of there, and you're an afterthought, they gonna let your offensive line get torn apart. Like Aaron Rodgers the last 4 years. Like
Man,
it's time to get them clipped.
I was just gonna say, what about all that? What do you think the effect of all that, the Bounty Gate shit with New Orleans and all that? What do you think that had an effect on that we see today with the league, especially defensively?
Nah, shit.
I don't think so either. Cause I was
Because
thinking like, yeah, go ahead, go ahead.
after that, they still letting them do the same shit.
Yep.
Certain quarterbacks, they'll let you pick them up, scoop them, punish them into the ground.
Yep.
Let you roll on certain quarterbacks' ankles and shit
Yep.
like that and be extra.
Yep.
And just the Bounty Gate entirely, man. It's been a part of the game, and it's still a part of the game. You can't convince me that shit wasn't going down in locker rooms when it came on the defensive side of the ball. Like, man, come on, y'all. Like, knock his ass out the game, y'all.
Literally.
Like, come on, man.
Literally.
Like, that could be player to player, or that could be the coach
Mm-hmm.
trying to incentivize the player to do that. NFL been around for over 100 years, man. People got to stop it. Thinking the Saints was the only one running the operation like that. People have to
let y'all
stop
take the
it,
fall
bro.
for it. That's what it was.
Right. That's all it was, man. And it was just, I feel like it was a scandal created by the league anyway. It was just bullshit, bro.
Yeah.
It was absolute bullshit.
Yeah.
It was absolute bullshit. But yeah, I think that scandal all together and them making the Saints pay for that shit like that, the way they handed Drew Brees some bad playoff losses, bro.
No, they did.
After that,
For sure.
bro, Drew
They
Brees
did.
got, man.
Well, people had to you had to show that you wasn't supporting the team that was killing the league. You know what I'm saying? So any way you can do that,
Right.
you got to publicly embarrass them. You got to whip them a little bit.
Right. But it's just like, damn, bro. When I looked at it like that, but then when I look at Brady, I like these people had 2 cheating scandals and won 7 fucking Super Bowls and went to 10. That's crazy.
It's insane.
A dynasty with 2 cheating scandals, man. That's crazy. So, but yeah, I just felt like they did Breeze bad, man. Like, let me look this up right quick.
Shit, I was gonna say. I mean, we briefly mentioned
This is what I was gonna tell you. Kirk Cousins has 1 playoff win in his career.
Shit.
Guess who that only playoff win is against?
What year did he play y'all in the playoffs?
He played when he was in Washington, he played against the Packers in 2015, 2016
But I'm saying
season.
New Orleans though. What year did he play this New Orleans game? I don't remember this ever happening. You about to say Kirk beat New Orleans, right?
2019, that's when he was in Minnesota.
Damn.
Because the previous year,
Damn.
because you remember Case Keenum was the quarterback in
Yup.
2017.
Yep. I remember Case.
And in 2019, that's when they went back because that Minnesota
the
Miracle
play. That's
game
the
was
play.
obviously played in
Yeah,
Minnesota.
yeah.
But in 2019, they went to the Dome. They went to
Mm-hmm.
New Orleans and beat them because
Mm-hmm.
it was a wild card game.
That's what's the name
And
rookie year, right? That's Justin's rookie year.
Justin
2019,
who?
Justin Jefferson.
No, not 2019. Justin Jefferson came to 2020 season.
2020.
He
Okay.
came in the draft. He came in the draft with Herbert, Love, Tua,
And Chase.
and all of them. That was because that 2019 team, that was the Burrow LSU team.
Oh, yeah. Chase came a year later. Chase came in 21. Okay, cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Shit. That's
But
his
yeah,
only
Kirk,
playoff win?
that's his only playoff win against Breeze at home. And you wanna know what the crazy part about with Breeze early on in his career, and I won't even say early on, for about the first 15 years of his career, that's all they kept posting. Well, you know what I'm saying, like promoting. Oh, Breeze is a outstanding at-home quarterback. Breeze was untouchable in that dome when it came to playoff games. But his first playoff loss was in 2018. That's when he lost to Jared Goff and the Rams. That's how the Rams got to that Super Bowl. The league didn't want Breeze to play no Brady in the Super Bowl, man.
Yeah.
They didn't want that. And I feel like the Saints would have won it. Because
I don't think they would have allowed the Saints to win it.
Right. So that's making my point. I don't think they wanted that to begin with.
Yeah.
I think the NFL shy away from certain matchups. Which is why we never got a Brady and a Aaron Rodgers Super Bowl or Brady and a Breeze Super Bowl. It's certain reasons for that. But that's crazy. So if I just told you in 2018 he lost to the Rams, that means Breeze, he lost to Jared Goff and Kirk Cousins at home back-to-back
Jared Goff
years.
and Kirk Cousins is insane.
Back-to-back years. That's when I was like, and then like I just told you, 2 years prior in 2017, they let this man lose on the road to fucking Case Keenum. Like those are like Drew Brees like losses like his last couple of years.
That's fucked up. I mean, when you look at it this way. He got the ring, and think about how many quarterbacks they kept as a heel the entirety of their career. Because look at Phillip Rivers. Like, I mean, I don't know if Phillip had playoff success in general. Did he ever have playoff success? I can't remember seeing the Chargers in the playoffs, even with LT.
The Chargers was one of those teams that went like 12-4, plenty of years.
Yeah.
And was one and done.
Yeah, lose first round type shit.
That's what they were. And the Chargers were one of those teams that drafted outstandingly. Like they was one of those players that was hitting on the draft. You talking about the 2000s to like the mid 2010s Chargers. Matter of fact, even to this day, they still drafting, bro. They still hitting on picks like LT, Darren Sproles, Michael Turner, Vincent Jackson, Antonio Gates. They drafted Breeze and Phillip Rivers. Breeze and Melvin Gordon. That dude, you know what I'm saying? He was one of the most notable running backs in like the 2019, 2020. So, man, they was hitting in that draft. Keenan Allen.
They drafted Bosa, right?
Joey Bosa. Derwin James, man. They was hitting. They was hit, bro. They always been a team to draft. So, but I just feel like them going 12-4, they ain't stand a chance going on the road facing a 14-2 coach team with Peyton Manning.
Yeah.
Then at the second seed, you got Brady sitting there with 13-3. Man, you not getting no bye week in the AFC.
No, you're not.
Dealing with Brady and Manning.
No, you're not.
That just wasn't happening. So that's just they still had to worry about the Steelers as well with Roethlisberger and Tomlin. So they ain't stand a chance, man. I just feel like they were one of those teams that were just built for the regular season, if that makes sense. And I think Phillip Rivers was just a regular season quarterback. Because if you put him in cold weather, he's nothing.
Shit, let's transition it while we still can because I want to come back to the NFL, but let's go NBA.
Okay.
Recap NBA Finals. Um, I guess my question would be to you, overall thoughts. Um, Obviously expectations, we pretty much called that how it was. But now that you saw how it really, how it went all 7 games, how everything culminated, what are your thoughts on that? And then we can talk about the ratings.
Okay. Based on how it went, I will say that I feel like OKC gave a game away because
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it easily could have ended in 6 games. But being that they were already a small market team, um, I feel like it just fell right in place for them to win it all at home in OKC, 7 games. Um, Based on just what I seen out there on the floor, I feel like OKC as a team, I feel like if they don't win it next year, we unfortunately won't see an NBA dynasty in the NBA.
Mm.
And it's never, I don't think it's not, it hasn't been a decade in which there wasn't a dynasty of that decade.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So that right there is going to be kind of surprising because I think with the NBA, it's going to be hard to I think it's going to be hard to base careers off of rings if it's that much parity.
Yeah.
If a new person is winning every year like that and everybody getting their turn, how can we really have ring discussions? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So that's one topic in itself. I think maybe the league may be trying to move away from that ring conversation, man. But only time will tell with that. But based on the finals, I feel like Indiana isn't going to be back for a long, long time. They,
So you think
they
Tyrese, he lived his life on this?
yeah.
Mm.
I think he did make the right decision for him.
Mm.
We called this shit like game 3.
Mm-hmm.
Um, he was like limping like
Yep.
throughout the series, and I feel like any player, you gotta go out there, man. They only need you for 48 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
That's all a basketball game is. They
Mm-hmm.
just need you to play just for 48 minutes, last game of the year, man. So go out there and give it your all because if you sit out that game, you ain't gonna never be able to live with yourself.
Nope.
You never gonna be able to forgive yourself from
And the
sitting out a
fans not
game
gonna
7.
forgive you.
Right. So, you know what I mean? I just feel like that right there was a no-brainer for him, man. And it's an eerie connection with that shit because KD was dealing with the same shit in the finals. You know what I mean? Calf injury. He pondering, man, do I sit out or do I come and make the most of this moment? What you think he did? He went out there. He played that damn game, man.
Ain't gonna
He snapped
compete.
his Achilles.
Yep. Straight like that.
So
Okay, I don't have much to add to it. I think that I think the NBA probably didn't they weren't in love with the package that came out as far as all 7 games, whatever they got publicly viewership wise and all that. I don't know if they were in love with that, but I think they were thinking, small market teams, you got to have some type of parity, and I understand that they wanted. I think they wanted to test the water and see what they could pull off. And I think the OKC thing is something that if they build on it, it'll get bigger and better every year, especially if they can start picking more suitable competition. So now that you saw what OKC did these 7 games, go and find that team that's going to be their obvious hurdle and put that in the finals. You know what I'm saying? Go find a team with some history, with some of the players, with some of the coaches, whatever. But there's got to be some type of storylines that get created from this. I 100% agree with you. I think that it can't really just die here. I think they need to pick up this because they got two youthful teams. One is super youthful, and that's something that you were on our first episode we talked about. And you were saying that they're so young, and I think that in this situation, that's a really good sign for the NBA to play around with, because if you give these guys 2 rings within the next 3 years, wherever they branch off to in the league, you can always have that storyline come back up. You can always have that storyline come back up. You know what I'm saying? It could always be something to where I think they missed the opportunity with Westbrook and Harden. I think they missed that opportunity the first time around with OKC, where all these guys ended up on so many teams, and you could have had so many different running storylines. Um, but they never kind of pushed the button on that. So I think they're going back to tie up loose ends and give those small market teams some love. You know what I mean? And I think that was a good thing for
Yeah.
them to do, but they got to figure out how they want to pivot this. You know what I'm saying? Because again,
Um.
it's gonna be old versus
hmm.
new at some point. You're gonna get this young small market team versus the giant. They got to slay a giant or they got to get smacked by a giant. You know what I'm saying? That has to happen at some point.
The thing is with the NBA, I feel like it's more. I wouldn't even say more. I feel like going in going into this next NBA season, I feel like it's if you're a betting man, your choice for the NBA champion for next year has to be the Western Conference. That's how I feel as of today. Because the way it currently sits next year, um, Miami, they're done. They have nothing going for them. They traded Jimmy Butler away
Mm-hmm.
to the Warriors, and you had Bam Adebayo stuck there,
Yep.
the Tyler Hero,
Yep.
and nothing.
Yep.
Um, or the Orlando Magic, they definitely gonna make the playoffs next year. They're an ascending team. They just made a trade to get Desmond Bain from the Memphis Grizzlies. You got that with Paulo Banchero, with Jalen Suggs and Franz Wagner. That's a good team right there.
Mm-hmm.
The Cavaliers, you still got Darius Garland, Donovan Mitchell, Evan Mobley, Jared Allen. So they're gonna be in the thick of things. But feel like the Celtics, they're gonna be out of the run because Jason Tatum is gonna be out pretty much entire the year with that Achilles injury. Like I just told you, the Pacers, their season is pretty much a wash next year with the Halliburton injury. Um, so when you look at that side, how many people do you even look at that side and really look at it? And number one, think to yourself, can this team make it? And would the NBA even want them on this stage? You see what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
it's a short list.
Yeah.
I probably count on my hand. It's probably like 4 teams if I really look at roster to roster who has a realistic chance to make the finals out the East next year. It's probably 3 or 4 teams, honestly. So, and I don't think neither one of those teams could beat the Lakers if they was to make it. If you got
Right.
LeBron and Luka in the finals, I don't
Right.
see no team in the East beating them. I don't see no team in the East beating
Like, what about
um,
Dallas?
Dallas being a West team. If they was to make it, yeah, I think they'll win
Mm.
with Klay Thompson,
Mm.
Anthony Davis, Kyrie, Cooper,
Cooper.
Flag.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they'll walk down any team they play
Yeah.
out the East. Um, the Bucks, they not really gonna do nothing. I mean, you got they took Miles Turner from the Pacers,
Mm.
but you just got Giannis with another big. But Damian Lillard is out. He not even out. He not even on your
He not
team
on the
anymore because they
team.
cut
Yeah.
him. So who do you really have over there? That's just Giannis by himself again. So I feel like if they was to play Denver, I feel like Jokic, Aaron Gordon, Jamal Murray, yeah,
Yeah.
they'll beat any team out the East. So you see where I'm going at with this. I feel like the championship is going to go back to the West again next year.
Mm. And you don't think? And who's your favorite right now? Who's your top 3 favorites out of the West?
Out the West, that's tough because I feel like all those teams can. I feel like it'll be dependent upon the matchup.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like you probably won't. It probably will be surprising to you, but I feel like the Lakers will lose to a team like I feel like they'll lose to a team like Denver, but they'll beat a team like OKC.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I feel
Mm-hmm.
about it. So it's dependent upon matchups.
Mm-hmm.
So I can sit here and tell you, oh yeah, I like the Lakers as the favorite, but if I know they gotta play Denver in the first round, my prediction is pretty much busted at that
Mm-hmm.
point. So it will fall based on who the matchups is, but I feel like Denver has to be put in that bubble in terms of championship contender.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like the Lakers, especially with them adding DeAndre Ayton, you having a real big now.
Mm-hmm.
They still need some defenders. That's their main problem. They need defenders. They don't have no defenders because you have Austin Reeves, you have LeBron, you have Luka Doncic, you have Rui Hachimura. I just named like 5 people. Ain't none of them dudes defenders. Ain't none of them dudes you can put out there and say, all right, go get a stop on Shea. LeBron and Luka not getting in front of no Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, man. So, and I feel like every team needs 3 things. So they need 4 things. You need at least one elite shooter. You need a point guard. You need a big, and you need a defensive stopper. I feel like every team needs one of the all 4 of those things, man. If you ain't got it, it's a flaw in your team. And that's what's gonna stop you. The Lakers, they was missing it. They didn't have a defensive stopper. They didn't have a big. How you win a championship without a damn big man? No team in NBA history have done it. But what did you hear before the playoffs started? You heard the entire media doing what? Lakers in 5, right?
So you feel like, and this is just a personal question I got. What do you think about the future of LeBron with the Lakers and with the league? What are you giving this? Because I know you mentioned it, them being a favorite, so you obviously got him locked down this year. You think, let's say they win a title,
no. Let me
okay.
no. Now that you bring that up, I want to preface that. So I honestly didn't meant to put them as the favorites because I would basically be contradicting myself because I told you I knew previously I don't see LeBron winning another championship. And if I feel like the Lakers get to the finals and they obviously gonna win against an East team, that wouldn't I'll be, you know what I'm saying, I'll be hypocritical of myself. So I can't say the Lakers are the favorites. I was listing them as who I would put in the championship bubble.
Gotcha.
If that makes sense.
Okay.
So yeah, I don't see the Lakers as the favorites. Now, what do I think the Lakers in the league, how they view LeBron at this point? I feel like they want LeBron out the door, but they know they can't pivot off because they don't have an established face yet. See, the NFL, they was able to let Brady do his walk-off because they had Mahomes. Mahomes had already had a league MVP and a Super Bowl. And he got handed a 10-year contract.
Yeah.
All that was already in place before they let Brady have his walk-off. Right. I think he had 3.
He had 3 straight? I know he lost to Brady. I know he
yeah, because Brady last year was 2022. So then that same season, that's when he beat the Eagles the first time. So as a matter of fact, he had 2 Super Bowls with 3 appearances, and he won a regular season MVP that same year. He's the only one to do that in the Roger Goodell era. Right. So we talking about a guy with 2 MVPs, 2 Super Bowls. Everything was established in place to let Brady have his walk-off. In the NBA, none of that is in place.
Yeah.
We don't know. We over here debating whether who's the best player in the game. They don't know if it's Jokic or Giannis. So that's why LeBron, in his defense, he know he still got that pull. He know, all right, these motherfuckers still need me, you know what I'm saying, in some way, shape, or form. They can't completely just chip me off the block. I still hold weight in this league. People still turn on their TV to tune into LeBron James. The name itself. Like LeBron know that. So, but I feel like LeBron, he was 2 steps ahead of the Lakers. It is what it is. because that last contract that he signed, like 2 years ago, I believe,
Mm-hmm.
he made sure to include a no trade clause in that contract.
Shit.
So LeBron ain't a dumbass. He knew later on in his career when he hit 40, 41 years old, it was gonna come to that point in time where the team kind of felt like they was maxed out with him
Yeah.
and they was probably ready to move on.
Yeah.
So, and now this day, LeBron had a player option. He could either opt out of the contract, become a free agent, or you can opt into that contract and pick up $53 million. If you LeBron, you know no team in the league is paying you $51 million on the open market
Especially
for
for a
one
year.
season. Right. No team is giving you that. But LeBron, you can opt into that contract, take your money, and you know you still got a no trade clause in your back pocket. Y'all can trade me, but I gotta sign off and I gotta agree to where y'all place me at. Y'all can't dump me off to the damn Utah Jazz for full first round picks. That ain't happening.
Yeah.
So that's why I say LeBron was 2 steps ahead with that shit, man.
So you think if
Had
LeBron,
to have been.
let's say LeBron had no trade clause in the contract, you think they would have shipped him already?
They would have definitely got rid of his ass. Because like I told you, they ready for the Luka ascension.
Yeah.
They ready for Luka to take off, become the face of the league possibly, and get his first ring. If I told you a long time ago, they not giving another ring to LeBron because LeBron has to stay at 4. Because the Warriors and Curry have 4. You have LeBron and Curry are the 2 faces of the league of this era, right? Of this from 2010 to now. It's been Curry and LeBron's league. The same way they made sure that Kobe and the Spurs dynasty both had 5 rings each. They both stopped at 5. Kobe versus the dynasty. LeBron versus the Warriors dynasty. Both cap off at 4. You got to keep it even for everybody. It has to stay that way for LeBron. He can't win 5.
So how
because
do you go ahead, my bad, I'm gonna let you
not,
finish the point.
But my last point that I was gonna add in, he has to stay at 4 also because you have to have an argument for Kobe. I know when you turn on TV, the consensus argument is LeBron Jordan or Jordan LeBron. You know what I mean? Like that, it's just between those 2. But there's a certain group of people still on this earth, man. You can't walk up in front of them and convince them that LeBron is better than Kobe. You know what I mean? Because Kobe had his 5 rings, LeBron only won 4.
Yep.
So I feel like you letting LeBron get the 5, man, that pushes Kobe out the way completely.
Yeah.
Like between the stats, the MVPs, and you having the same amount of rings as him, there's no argument for Kobe. And I feel like the league do this to basically keep an argument for certain players, like to keep certain debates alive.
Yeah.
The same way I feel like that's why Drew Brees didn't get another ring.
Yep.
Because think about it. If you give Drew Brees another ring, can you really say that Peyton Manning was greater than him? Just think about it.
What about Aaron Rodgers? If you give him another ring, what can you say? You know what I'm saying? The conversation split there too. You give Rodgers 2 rings, that means 2 appearances, he 2-0.
Not Peyton. I can't feel the same way about it because the thing is between Aaron Rodgers and Peyton Manning is Peyton Manning still appeared there 4 times. He was 2-4, but he still had 4 appearances. Aaron Rodgers, you might have your 2 appearances be 2-0, but Peyton got there 5 times.
But you could blame everybody but yourself.
I mean, 4 times.
You could say the team didn't get me there. I never got drafted a wide receiver. I never got, you know what I'm saying, the help I needed, maybe offensively or defensively. You could make an argument to be like, every time I showed up, I did what I had to do. But could the front office, could my head coaches get me over that hurdle? You know what I'm saying? I just think it's an argument you could have made had Rodgers made too.
But between that and like Peyton Manning just being light years ahead of him when it comes to statistics, I can't say it's close because Peyton Manning is like top 3 all time passing yards, passing touchdowns. Aaron Rodgers is not, unfortunately. So with the stats and you having the same amount of Super Bowls as Aaron Rodgers with the extra appearances, I probably gotta go with Peyton. But Drew Brees is different because Drew Brees beat Peyton Manning head to head in the Super Bowl. You get what I'm saying? I would have like a different feel on it because I seen a head to head matchup.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, Drew Brees played a little longer than Peyton, so he actually number 2. He broke Peyton Manning passing touchdown records. He broke his passing yard records.
Yeah, so
I can't really say the
I like
same
that
for Aaron
analogy
Rodgers.
now. I understand where you're coming from.
So I think the NBA, they keep certain. Why do you think we never got a Kobe versus LeBron finals? They the NBA said, you know what? We gonna make LeBron go by himself in 2007 against the Spurs and get swept. And the next year, we gonna let Kobe beat the shit out of the Dwight Howard Magics. You know what I mean? They made sure they shied away from that matchup. They wanted no parts of that, man. They wanted no parts of that. They even let Kobe go to the finals in, I think it was 2008. And that's when he lost to the Boston Celtics.
Yep.
That's how Paul Pierce got his one and only ring.
Yep.
So to make my point, yeah, they shy away from certain matchups, and they make certain players, they make the numbers add up matchup to where you can make an argument for certain players. So that's another reason why I don't think LeBron is going to get 5. I think he's going to stay at 4.
Shit, I guess my last question on that is, what do you think LeBron wants to do though? Like, what you think LeBron is thinking just from now until retirement? What do you think his timeline, if he had it his way, look like?
I want to think in terms of an accomplishment.
Not even accomplishments. I'm talking about just okay. Well, yeah. I think you gonna tie it up anyway. So go ahead.
In terms of accomplishments, the only thing that he really could like be saving out for is playing with his youngest son. That's the only thing that would really make sense, because he's not winning no more rings. I think he knows that. Why you think he going on podcasts and saying and questioning, I don't know why rings are so discussed in our culture and our game, and I don't know why it's so prevalent. Like, and that BS right there is a topic for a whole another day, man. But just to point out the hypocrisy in that, he's the type of dude to say, to question why is rings so important in their game of basketball. But 5 years prior, I can show you an interview in which he said him beating the Golden State Warriors in 2015 made him the greatest player of all time. So how can you say that on one hand, but act like you don't know the importance? Yeah. Right, act like you don't. So, you know what I mean? Like, this sounds like a dude who is on the 9th hole of his career on a backstage. He know his time is coming to an end. He probably don't like how he's sitting in the rankings when it comes to how the rings fall, man. When a ring conversation not convenient for you, you gonna question why it's so important. Man, that sounds just like LeBron, man. That sounds just like LeBron. And 2 months before that, his agent went on a podcast and said him, Chris Bosh, and Dwayne Wade weren't a big 3 in Miami. They were just 3 lottery guys that were put together. You see what I'm going at with this?
Framing. Yeah.
These dudes, they know the ring chasing. They know that shit is over. They know the league has no, you know what I mean? They have no motive to get this dude no more rings. So what they trying to do is they trying to get on podcasts, rewrite history and shit, trying to shape the minds of the public. That's what they doing now, man.
That's real. That's definitely real. Well, you know, this finals, we talked about the ratings and how what we predicted the NBA probably should have done or could do to get a hold of these ratings. But here's how it turned out. So the average viewership was down 9% from last year. So you had about 10.2 million viewers. Last year you had 11.3. And it's the lowest for a non-pandemic NBA final since 2007. Game 7, though, was the most watched finals game since 2019, but it still had less than half the audience of the Game 7 in 2016. The early games in the 2025 series averaged under 10 million viewers, with Game 1 at 8.9 million, the lowest since 2008. Viewership rose as the series progressed, but the overall average remained historically low, reflecting the impact of smaller markets and absence of global superstars. So with that being said, what are just with those numbers, those statistics, what's the first thing that come to your mind?
Looking at those numbers, first thing that comes to my mind is when we previously talked about this, I didn't sit where I'm currently sitting now.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of how I feel about it,
Mm-hmm.
but those numbers scream kind of a point that is already made, which is that when you look at the two teams that played in the NBA Finals this year, not only were there two small market teams
Mm-hmm.
between the Indiana Pacers and Oklahoma City Thunder. Another thing to factor in is you had two fresh faces. Neither one of them had been on the stage before. Neither one of them had an established storyline already. Neither one of them were defending
They were blank
champions.
slates. They were blank slates.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's another reason why the ratings dipped down, because if you look at the 2010s, the 2000s, you always had an established face versus somebody who was trying to chase their first or get it. Or yeah, like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yep.
so that's how it always went. The only time that we had two fresh faces in the 2010s was probably 2011. No. It was 2012.
What's that?
That was the
Miami.
Miami and OKC, because that's LeBron and KD going to go get their first.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, it was always somebody who won it already trying to go against another one or defend their title, whether it was the Spurs versus LeBron, the Warriors versus LeBron. Like, it was always somebody there who had won it and done it already. The last couple of years, it hasn't been that way. In the last couple of years, it hasn't been that way. Ever since it was Phoenix versus the Bucks, they just carried that trend on, because at first it was Chris Paul and Devin Booker trying to get their first as they went against Giannis and the Bucks, who also didn't have a ring at that point. Then we started to see the Denver Nuggets versus the Miami Heat with Jimmy Butler, who had never won before. And you see where I'm going at? They continue in a trend. These blank faces, these unestablished, they trying to make it to where they get their first. That's what he going at with it.
So you feel
and I think,
go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, so I'm not gonna say I don't think they care about the ratings at this point, but I really feel like they're trying to exercise the notion of parity being alive in the NBA. That's why I think they're going there with it. Because if you look at the NBA under David Stern, it was like, I think I think they said it was close to, I think they said we only had like 8 different champions. Only 8 different teams won the championship under Stern. But under Adam Silver, since 2014, we didn't have like 7. And that's just in a 11-year period, man. 7 different teams that won in an 11-year period. But you're talking about Stern, who was the commissioner of the league for damn near 40 years. We only had 8 different champions. You see the difference in that? So they really trying to push this parity stigma in the NBA now, for sure. I think they trying to get. I think that's going to prove that there won't be a dynasty in the 2020s for the NBA. I think that's where they're going there with it.
I know we had that conversation, I think episode 2, about the NBA dynasty and how we got 5 years left. So if they had to make it happen, obviously the favorite right now is OKC because they just won this one. But in terms of what the NBA could want to do, I looked at this, like, once the numbers came in for Game 7, I looked at this like the NBA they're either starting a new chapter right now, or they're cementing. This could be the cementing of the end of an old chapter. But I mean, I guess it's almost the same thing, but I think they're wrapping things up. I think the new storylines are now in front of our face. You feel what I'm saying?
Right. And you saying that, I feel like we aren't going to completely go into that until LeBron is out the door.
Facts.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
The new era, it can't be pushed, and it can't like spread like a wildfire and take over until LeBron is out the door.
So what you think about Bronny right now? What is Bronny's life? And it's so that shit is whatever. You think they would do that to LeBron? No, I feel like they gotta milk that shit, man. I'm telling you. Until they get Bryce in the league, because you gotta figure, but they need one of the sons. They gotta get one. obviously right now everybody's hoping it's Bryce because they seen it's not Bronny. But I'm saying until that time comes, until that ship is ready to take off, you don't think they keep his brother in the league? I feel like LeBron got enough pull.
No. When I laughed off at that, that wasn't me saying that. Oh, he's about to he
Get
doesn't
out,
have
yeah,
like an
yeah.
NBA future or anything. I was just saying like, I thought you were saying like, do I feel like he is like a real focal point of the league and like we really look at him
No,
as
I
like a
just wanted
top
to know your
player.
opinion. Like, what you think's gonna happen to Bronny?
Uh,
LeBron will still be around, is what I'm saying. Like, even
yeah,
even
he'll,
even though
he'll
his
still feel
presence
around.
ain't in on the court, it'll still be in the NBA. So I'm just trying to figure. You think LeBron lets his oldest fall to the wayside in preparation for Bryce, or do you think?
The thing is about Bronny is, man, LeBron fucked it up for the dude, man.
Mm,
And I'm not gonna take nothing back. He fucked it up for the dude,
mm,
bro. And I'm not even talking about from the point of him wanting to play with his son. You know what I mean? Him giving this game his body for 20 years. I feel like that's some, he feel like he earned. You know what I mean?
mm-hmm.
You want to play with your son, that's one thing. But you forcing the issue and your agent putting the notion around the league,
Yeah.
do not draft Bronny, because if you do, we're going to send him to the G League. So you're going to waste your pick. Them pushing that notion out there and damn near, I'm not going to say they scared teams to not draft him, but you just doing that and you basically strong arming the way to get your son to play with you. That right there, a lot of people didn't like that, man.
Mm.
Then you got the fact that last year, like 2 years ago, LeBron put out a tweet. He was at home. He said, I'm over here watching League Pass. Man, Bron is light years better than half these cats in the league. You know
I
what I
remember
mean?
that shit.
So you
Yeah.
gotta think about how players are
Yeah.
actually viewing that shit. And at this point, this dude wasn't even in the league yet, bro.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Like as fucked up as it is to say it, this is when this man was at college, wasn't even putting up good numbers. This was after this man had a whole cardiac arrest, bro,
Mm-hmm.
when his heart gave out.
Mm-hmm.
And for you to sit there and get on the internet and say you feel like your son, who hasn't even taken an NBA dribble, is better than half the damn league, bro, you tripping. So every time you see Bronny in a live NBA game, a real regular season game, players are going at him. You can't hide Bronny. You can't hide Bronny, bro.
Mm.
That's why I feel like it's gonna be tough for
Shit,
him.
man.
Players go at him.
Man.
Players go at him, man. So
Man. Well, I don't know,
because
bro.
it's LeBron, bro.
That's
They
what I'm
can make
trying
it
to
look
say.
all.
It's
No.
LeBron.
I'm saying this to say this. Players can make it look all peachy and fun. Oh yeah, LeBron, cool. You know what I'm saying? We fuck with LeBron, but a lot of players they envy of LeBron. So you don't think they be like, yeah, man, I'm about to take it out on
Yeah,
your
no, the
seed, bro, on your
retaliation can
son.
definitely come to your son for sure.
You know what I mean? Like, so that's
100%.
what I'm saying. That shit deep. Between him making that comment and players already envious of him himself, players gonna attack your son, man.
I think if that's the case, the NBA will lean into Bronny being the heel. I think they got to. I think matchups.
Mm.
I think what I wanted to kind of gauge from your answer is kind of like, do you see him being a starter somewhere, even for the next 2 years, 3 years? Do you see him being a starter somewhere? Because if
I
he is, he's got to be a heel based on what you're telling me, and I
he
agree with
got
it.
he got he got he got 3 more years this year and then 2 more years of his rookie contract. So I feel like you won't see him if he does has any chance of being a starter. It will be once he's on a second contract.
Mm,
Um,
mm.
I
But
think
then
as
it's
of
too
right
late.
now,
To be real with you, that's too late.
because last year he wasn't starter potential. He wasn't even rotation potential, man.
Yeah, yeah.
And this season coming up, if we're forecasting him to still be on the Lakers, you're not getting minutes over Luka at the 1
Yeah.
or at the 2. You still got Austin Reeves. You know, LeBron, he always wants a shooter to
Mm-hmm.
run the 1 and to run the 2, just to be a spot up shooter. So I can't really think of any way this dude is really getting consistent minutes. I think this season coming up is gonna be another developmental year for Bronny. So if I just said that based on just his first 2 years, it would be crazy to assume that he about to just take a magical jump and be a starter in year 3. That won't be happening. So I could see year 3 being realistically more of a year that he can get rotational minutes, kind of consistently get himself like 18 minutes a game.
Mm-hmm.
And then year 4, I still don't think he gonna make that leap to be a starter, man. Because you gotta think about it, like guards are alive and well in the NBA in today's game. You got a lot of guards that can shoot the ball well, they got handles or can finish.
Mm-hmm.
Bronny cannot do that. Like, for real, man.
So
Like, think off the top of your head, how many teams do you really think he can really start on?
but okay, so this is what I'm saying. If the views don't start, my whole thing is you don't waste the chance to milk your audience, especially if you're the NBA. And I think that even if it's just to build some type of even if it's just to build some type of not main storyline, but side storyline, whatever the case may be, especially with all these young guys getting their chance, sons of former athletes, NBA stars coming into the league over the next 3 to 5 years. I feel like Bronny is too good of a situation and too good of a name with his father still being who he is to not experiment with different outcomes, including Bronny. And if you gotta give the head nod to the fact that he's only in the league because of his name, let that shit be it. You know what I'm saying? I just don't think the NBA runs away from that. So I guess my mindset is like, if you were Adam Silver, how do you work him into a storyline? How do you work him into the picture? How do you work him in? Because you can't let him slip. I don't think LeBron. I think you risk pissing off LeBron, which no league has ever done thus far, which is piss off their legends, at least while they're still alive and to see it. I don't think they'll do that to LeBron fresh off retirement. So I think Bronny has to have some type of presence in the league simply because you want to appease LeBron until his brother get there, until Bryce get there. Because then once Bryce is there, okay, you honor one son, you let the other fall to the wayside. Who cares? But I don't think you can let Bronny just not be a thing we even talk about. Like I don't see Bronny just being in the league like that for no reason. I just don't see it.
Well, if he's going to be anything, he might be a good defensive on-ball stopper.
Yeah.
That's like probably the only thing I can probably see him excelling at and getting recognition is. And to tie that into something that's already there, a lot of his comparisons are Drew Holiday based on his play style. So that may just be what he is, man. Like, you know what I mean? Just a good two-way player. You're not great offensively, and you don't really have the size and the athletic ability to really take over a game like that. But you can have at least two things that you are impactful for, which is your on-ball defense. I will give him that. But that's probably it, man.
You don't see third year. You couldn't see third year in the league, maybe fourth year. He go possibly Western Conference Final, maybe Finals with Luka. Just for the ratings. Yeah. You don't see it just for the ratings. LeBron's son.
See, now this the thing. This is the thing. Everything completely changes on how I feel about this if Bronny is able to stay with the Lakers and LeBron is the focal point. You know what I'm saying? No, not LeBron. Luka is the focal point. That's what I'm saying.
Luka's the focal point.
So let's say LeBron rides off and you still got Bronny on the team and everything is still centered around Luka. But Bronny, him having such a good relationship with Luka, that shit, Luka is able to bring out more out of him.
And then he get a contract somewhere else.
Right. So that if you go on that route, that right there is something that actually can't happen.
Yeah.
But I'm really with the mindset right now that the Lakers really gonna get rid of LeBron. And if they get rid of LeBron, I'm already knowing they don't really want this man's son on their team taking up a roster spot.
No.
Especially with the Lakers, they didn't sold the team, they under new ownership, all type of shit, man.
So
So
LeBron take a chance on a different team last 2 years, and you take Bronny with him.
you know what I mean? But that right there would be completely different. Let's say LeBron leaves, and let's say he find a way to find his way to the Knicks,
Mm.
and you got LeBron over there with the Knicks with Jalen Brunson and Karl
Mm-hmm.
Anthony Towns, and they're able to take on his son.
Mm-hmm.
And guess who the coach is? Mike Brown.
Mm.
LeBron got history with the coach Mike Brown. Him and Mike Brown went to the finals together in Cleveland in 2007. So if you able to bring that all together, that's completely different. You leaving Bronny on the team on the Knicks with Jalen Brunson and Karl Anthony Towns, who knows how that shit pans out?
Yeah.
That's totally different than you having Bronny with the Lake Show in LA with Luka. That's totally different. That's totally different. That's totally different.
Okay, bet.
Totally different. Because if you got Bronny in LA, you know, on the same team, his entire rookie contract on being coached by the same coach, you know what I mean, in the same environment,
Yeah.
that's totally different, man.
Okay,
Then
so
so yeah, that's how I feel about it. I don't feel like it's the same if he's forced to go somewhere else. I think it'll really stunt his career arc and his development. And a storyline would just be up in the air with him.
so I definitely can see exactly what you're saying with
And this is another thing I wanted to add on. I can't see him ever being a heel.
damn, for
He's
real.
not. He's not good. He's not good enough. He don't have the personality to be a heel. And I feel like after he
You
had
can
that heart
force a
attack,
heel
man.
though, bro. You can force a heel.
After he had that heart attack, though, on that court, people feel like the odds were already against him. You know what I mean? So that right there in itself, and people still using that as an excuse for him to this day. When they ask, "Oh, why is he so average? Why he not good, man? Your dad is LeBron. Why is this all you showing us?" A lot of people still say, "Oh, the guy had a heart attack 2-3 years ago. He's still recovering." They gonna
Man,
always,
and that's the
they
thing
gonna
for
always put no
LeBron,
lie.
bro. It's like Jordan didn't have to go through this because Jordan, like when the situation was happening from him, once he retired, his son wasn't, you know what I'm saying? Neither one of his sons were in a conversation of being drafted all their life and all that. So it's funny that LeBron is the first athlete in the NBA at his stature to have to go through what he's going through, which is like, okay, tons of players don't have sons that equal out to anything. But with the NFL being so closely related, and even the NBA, you see some of these guys come in. I remember when Hardaway Jr. came in the league with the Knicks, and
Yep.
I remember that being a conversation with, we talking about he didn't have a dad that could like strong arm him into a predicament. Did
Right.
his namesake help him get selected for
Yeah.
sure, but
Yeah.
I think LeBron is in a peculiar situation because if I'm LeBron, I'm throwing all my weight around. I'm pissing more motherfuckers off just to make sure Bronny has. Because I think realistically everybody agrees with you. I think everybody agrees that Bronny is not NBA starter caliber talent, and maybe he won't ever become that. But I don't think LeBron's ego, like just for legacy's sake, I don't think LeBron will allow the NBA to spit around his name like that. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like they have to have a storyline in place somewhere on these 30 teams. Bronny has to be starting in 3 years. It's just even if it's the losing team in the league, his son got to be starting somewhere, bro. I'm sorry, I don't see LeBron letting that happen. I just don't. If he had to come buy a piece of the team, Chance, if he had to come be a GM like Magic Johnson, he would do the shit. Or a president like Magic Johnson, I would see LeBron doing that just for his son. Because what does Bronny have? Just think about LeBron, right? What does Bronny have in his life if he's not playing professional basketball? What did LeBron shape him up to do? Remember, Marcus went and just started to scam on the Jordan name. That's just what he wanted to do. Fuck it. My dad got billions. I don't really need the money. So let me do some shiesty shit with the shoes. Everybody else, you know what I'm saying? This is LeBron. You just talked about impact. You just talked about legacy. You just talked about how goalposts were moved to ensure that LeBron still had a pathway to where he could be doing this all this time, and it's worked thus far. You think they just abandoned it once he retired? And you think he go down with that? Like, okay, cool. I don't see LeBron letting that happen. That's just the way I see it.
I mean, so what about this route right here? Nah, that can't happen. But they don't have the
Let
money
Bronny
for it.
come to Atlanta 3 years from now. Atlanta been struggling to fill the spot for Trae Young. Bronny come there as a rotational player potentially. They gonna give him somehow, some shape, some way. He go off 2-3 nights. It do enough in it do enough in the audience point of view to where now he is this, maybe the sixth man or whatever. Then they starting point guard go down, and now Bronny's starting the rest of the season. He do enough to secure a contract, and for the next 2 to 3 years, he's on either Atlanta or some other team, just collecting a paycheck for the most part. I could see something like that, bro, because you got to keep his name there. His brother going to be in the league. His dad going to be doing some shit next to the league. You cannot let this kid sink. This ain't LaMelo Ball. This is not the same situation I think we thinking about. This is the first time NBA royalty is being ushered out, and you getting strong arm from the beginning. Remember, you just said it. LeBron strong armed this kid into the league from the beginning. It don't end like that,
But
Chance. I'm sorry, bro.
so let me ask you this. So with you feeling like the league will create some way, shape, or
Yes.
form a storyline for Bronny, do you think the storyline will be successful?
No, that's why I wanted him to be the heel. Look, I'm taking your input on him not being able to run the personality for a heel. But again, I don't have no success in his future. I just have until we can figure out what his youngest son is gonna do. You cannot just get rid of this one. You just can't. He gonna have to
I
have a
feel like
roster
the I
spot.
feel like the younger one. I feel like the younger one gonna be better. And the thing is, because I feel like all around, I think his game is just better than Bronny,
Mm-hmm.
and he has the size that Bronny
Exactly.
don't.
Exactly.
And like I don't think, damn man, it's like I don't think the league really gonna give LeBron a lot of success when it comes to his sons because they gave LeBron so much success.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like when you give the first generation all the success, the second gen normally don't get that.
Mm-hmm.
So that right there is why I think
But you know the day
Bronny is
will come. The day will come where a son comes into the league. And look at Melo's son, right? Melo never got the title. You don't think that's a clear,
Carmelo.
yeah, you don't think that's a clear chance. You don't think that's almost damn near a clear indicator, clear giveaway that if his son can stack up in the league, storyline wise, first 5 years is I want my son to accomplish what I couldn't accomplish. Easy storyline for him to land on a playoff caliber team somehow, or I'm just saying you got to start thinking that they're going to break that fold. Someone is going to be able to carry the torch. Someone is going to surpass their father. We at that point now, bro. We are at the point in the league where you have nothing but legends and their offspring not polluting, but filling up roster spots. Storylines is right there in front of you.
So what about this? What about let me look this up before I actually don't know how old he is. Let me see. Do you know how old Carmelo Anthony's son is?
I think he's 17, 18. Let me see. He is 18 years old.
All right. All right.
So he'll be in the league within the
Kai,
next 2 years.
Kai and I think that's how you pronounce it.
Yeah.
All right. So
He already going to Syracuse like his dad.
let me look this up.
His dad won a title at Syracuse. Let's say he don't win the title at Syracuse, but he win the
All
title
right.
in
All
the
right.
NBA.
All right. I'm going somewhere with this.
Okay.
So Kai Anthony,
Yeah.
18.
Yeah.
You said you forecasted him to be at Syracuse for 2 years. Bryce James is 18. You think they might do something with that?
Now here's the
We got
thing.
we
I
got
don't know
two
where
young
Bryce is
bloods.
going. Do you know where Bryce is going? What school he's going to? Is it USC?
Bryce Young,
Oh,
the
he's
younger
committed to
citizen
play
of
for
LeBron,
Arizona. So he's going to he gonna
Arizona.
play for Arizona. So he's gonna be in the Pac-12. And I'm trying to see how it can happen. I think they definitely I think they definitely fuck around and get a March Madness matchup out of them. They got to. I think it's almost like, let me see who Carmelo Anthony Syracuse March Madness history. Cause I could definitely see some storylines being done in college too. Let me see.
Yep. And I think they both run into two because Kai Anthony 6'5", Bryce is 6'6".
How tall is how tall is LeBron?
LeBron 6'8", 6'9".
So they both only like 3 inches smaller than their dad. Cause Melo's 6'8".
Yeah.
This is some shit I could see happening. I'm trying to get the years of what 2003. Okay. So 03 was his year. All right. So 03 March Madness bracket. This how we gonna put it together, just like this.
Yeah, I think they might be setting the stage for the youngin to go against the youngest son to go against
Type shit.
Kai.
Type shit. So
Look this up. This I need to see this. I need to see how old this dude is.
no, I need the
All right.
whole list.
Then you got then right after that, 2 years, man, they might be repeating the cycle, man. Because you gotta think about it. Carmelo and LeBron, they came in the '03 draft, and Chris Paul came 2 years later in '05, right?
Yeah.
So Chris Paul, the Paul legacy that came 2 years after we got the LeBron and the Carmelo and all the other shit,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So we mapping this shit out and we saying 18-year-old Kai Anthony and 18-year-old Bryce James, they gonna be in the league with each other within what you said like the next 2 years, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Guess who is 2 years younger than them? Chris Paul's son, Chris Paul the second. He's 16. So he will be on track. Chris Paul the second will be on track to come in the league 2 years after we get the second iteration of the James legacy and the second iteration of
Oh,
the
the
Anthony.
first yeah, oh yeah, yeah, no, you're right, you're right. Second,
You see what
second,
I'm
second,
saying?
yeah.
So that shit crazy, man. That shit might just be
So I just googled this. 2003, Melo win the national championship in college, right? Syracuse. They came in as a 3 seed. Arizona, who Bryce is committed to, came in as a 1 seed. They lost to Kansas. They both made the Elite Eight, but they lost to Kansas in that Elite Eight round. And then who beats Kansas to win the national title? Carmelo Anthony. I'm not saying now again for everybody watching. This is me like I'm going literally in thin air to pull shit out the air, but I'm just thinking of where you could take this because with Melo's son going to the same alma mater as his dad, this is something LeBron does not have access to. This has been a big thing. LeBron is always, I don't know if he's listed it as a regret or something he maybe wanted to do, but him not going to college does kind of skip some sort of he he alienated himself in a way where
he didn't have like
obviously
the ultimate career.
exactly. So there's
Like,
things that could be missing from that. You know what I'm saying, legacy wise. But with Melo, you can paint the same thing for his son, where it's like, okay, you're going to Syracuse. Obviously, just for what we know about the sports world, if there's money to be made, they're not gonna miss out on it. If you telling me that if he's not a one and done, I don't know. If he's not a one and done, because Bryce won't get to college to what? the year after next, I don't think Bryce is a senior. I feel like he's a junior right now. So I feel like he won't get to.
He 18.
Oh, so he is. So they both gonna be there this year.
Yeah.
Damn, that changes everything. Okay, so I tell y'all what, I guarantee we get a matchup in college for fucking sure. They get a matchup in college. If it's in March Madness, I think it'll carry on to the NBA. I think it's guaranteed. This is the legacy. It'll carry on to the NBA. If it's regular season, I don't really know if that kind of beacons a storyline to be developed, but I could definitely see 1 and 2 being Kean Anthony, Bryce James, or Bryce James, Kean Anthony. I think that's 1 and 2 they draft. Off namesake alone, and LeBron will have to force shit this time. You think they stay past the year? Melo not letting his son stay past the year. I'm saying that shit right now. Melo stayed 1 year, won a title.
You think Kai could get him a title?
No.
In 1 year?
No. But I don't think you need it no more. I think that's what the whole situation with and half these guys come outside of the league. They coming from Canada, they coming from, Slovenia, whatever. I don't think you need a title. But I think he will have a March Madness appearance. He'll have a March Madness moment, and he'll have a number 1 or top 3 lottery pick future.
Gotcha. Yeah, man. I could definitely see him staying 1 year. Both of them, matter of fact.
So you think LeBron make him stay 2 years? I definitely don't think that shit gonna happen. If he didn't let Bronny stay 2 years, I don't think he let Bryce stay 2 years. I don't think LeBron valued collegiate development. I think Bron look at it like you are better off learning against the guys you're gonna be playing with, even if you got to be in the G League like your brother for a year. Which, you know what I'm saying, it's probably not going to happen. But I think LeBron valued the NBA more than he valued the collegiate level.
Okay. Because I remember this was a couple of years ago. Let me see what year this actual quote was. LeBron James. So on November the 28th, 2018, this is when LeBron was his first year on the Lakers. This was the only time I really heard LeBron speak on college and anything to do with his son's development. But I think this is when Bronny was still in high school. He said he hopes for his son to play for Coach K at Duke. That's what he wanted Bryce to. That's the coach. Basically the development he wanted Bryce. I mean, not Bryce, Bronny to have when he did came
Coach
to
K retired.
Right. So I did want to throw that nugget out there because that was something that LeBron mentioned. And I remember that.
That's funny you mentioned that because he went from wanting his son to play with Coach K and develop under Coach K to sending him to US fucking C.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like I definitely feel like I just wonder what his thought process was. I bet LeBron was thinking, you know what? I just want him. I don't know, because you could have sent him. He could have developed at Gonzaga. He could have developed. He could have went to Georgetown. They was brewing teams at Georgetown the last 5 years, just trying to get some of that resemblance to the past. But there was a lot of college coaches that would have helped Bronny develop. But it's like he wanted to cradle him into the league. I don't know what that was about. I don't know if USC was obviously the proximity move, because then you don't got to do nothing. Y'all both in LA. But it's like, damn, bro, you didn't want him to have no sense of. It's like what I think people thought was happening with Shador. Like, I think they thought Dion was sabotaging Shador and Shiloh. You know what I'm saying? But I think this is the sabotage. High key.
For real.
But shit,
but that's why people was listing this shit as nepotism, man.
Oh, this was definitely nepotism. This for sure, yeah. This was
So,
definitely nepotism.
yeah. So,
I mean,
how do you feel? How do you feel about the King Griffey's playing together during their baseball days?
they got what they to me. You know what? That signifies what baseball really is today. It was just the first. Baseball was just the first, man. It was the first sport to really take off in America. It was the first sport to have a lot of those early relationship legacy moments. You know, even Barry Bonds and his son and all that. Like, there's a ton of moments where I feel like baseball was able to cement itself early in sports history, and that Ken Griffey moment probably won't ever occur again. I think sports are just too advanced now, bro. Like, LeBron is a freak athlete that was able to force this to happen. We get that. Do you think this could ever happen with anybody else? You think Melo could have still been playing in the league till next year?
Carmelo Anthony.
Yeah,
How old is Melo right now?
because he said he don't
But
even
that's
want to
the
do the big
that's
three shit.
that's the difference between Carmelo and LeBron age is that LeBron didn't go to college.
Melo came in the league in
So
04
so
or
Melo
03.
Melo 41. I feel like if Melo took better care of his body, he could definitely still be in the league, man. Based on his game, because he played until he was 37. In better shape, I think he could have pulled. Now playing until your son get in the league, that's two different things. That's two different
So
things.
I'm saying, you think
Because
that's
if
gonna ever happen
because
again?
in baseball, it could happen because I think baseball is played differently.
Mm-hmm.
I think it requires less athletic ability
Mm-hmm.
because if you watch the Griffin boys, they standing out there as outside fielders. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? That's standing up out there with your
They
hand up.
by the fences.
Right. So but in basketball, that's entirely different.
That's what I'm
That's
saying.
entirely
That's what
different.
I'm saying. And LeBron is able to. He is literally living, I think, a once in a lifetime opportunity for the NBA. So that's where I'm at with it. Where it's like, do you think they squandered that opportunity to milk that? Even having both of his sons in the league. You know what I'm saying?
That's
Why he's in the
crazy,
league.
dude. His and not to cut you off, his coach now is JJ Redick on the Lakers. Before that, the coach was Darwin Ham,
Mm-hmm.
right? When LeBron first came in the league in 2003, this man was playing against Darwin Ham in a basketball game. So for you to play so long to where you got to play against this dude, you play so long to where you come into the league as a rookie, you play against a guy, then he retires, and that guy is your coach. Yeah,
And
his
then
longevity,
the next year, well, really by a year, he could have been your son's coach.
right, 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 right.
I'm telling you, man, they're not gonna let this shit die. I'm sorry, bro. They just not. As much attention they saw from letting the Ball brothers situation go to where it went, it's no fucking way they let Bronny just fall,
Wait, wait.
man.
Talk about that. Why you think that shit didn't live up the way
Cause he
it
fucked up.
was? Who the dad or the
No, the
sons?
son, the Leangelo fucked up when he
Oh,
was at
the middle
UCLA.
son, the middle
Yeah,
son.
he fucked it
I
up
got you.
because out of all the shit to really fuck up your career on, that has to be the dumbest shit I ever seen in my life. And it's really just like it's a blessing for the family in the sense that that's really your only arrogant moment that crumbled you. That was really the only time arrogance really steeped into the Ball storyline. And I say arrogance because what the fuck are you doing this rich stealing from people? You know what I'm saying? Like that, like
He was in China
he
doing
was
that
in
shit, correct?
China, in China stealing. So you really got to think about in the sense of like you already do not have a fan base that is going to be any bit of I don't want to say redeeming, any bit of forgiving to you or your brothers or your father. And then you go pull some shit like that. I think it was just one of those things where it's like you gave us a reason. Okay, cool. I think that's the only reason all three of his sons didn't pan out to play in the league. And then of course Lonzo with the injury and all these things. I mean, at least he's still in the league, but I think that fucked him up because I know Jello was LiAngelo was the one that was already fringe. Could he make it? Could he not make it? Right? He was the son that was fringe, right?
Yeah, because he was the middle one, the one that they didn't even really know had. They didn't even know like where he would play in the league.
Type
because
shit.
the thing is with him, he was 6'5", but he was a power forward. At 6'5", who are you posting up in the NBA?
Nobody.
So that right there, just me saying that raised a big question mark, right? The people was already questioning how would your game even evolve to the NBA?
Yeah.
That's totally different than you being a 6'6" point guard like Lonzo, who is elite defender and got good playmaking ability. The biggest downside of Lonzo's game was his shooting form. They didn't know if that ugly, unorthodox shooting form would work in the NBA.
Yeah.
And it didn't. He had to like tweak that shit. He had to change his whole form around. So the reason why you haven't heard his name,
and they sent him to the Lake Show. Remember, you said that earlier. They sent him to the Lake Show rookie year.
Right. And people over here talking about the Luka and the Anthony Davis trade was rigged. How the Mavs got the fucked up end of the stick, and then Magic ended up with the first overall pick. I'm like, how y'all questioning that? But y'all don't question LeVar Ball going on podcast for an entire year saying that his son was going to the league. This was before the draft lottery was even announced. Way before we even seen how to draft,
but that's how opportunistic the NBA is, bro. That's what I'm saying. Like, you don't think
that was crazy?
You don't think they are pinning this for Bronny though? They look for any moment to squeeze bread out of the situation. You think they don't want to get bread out of Bronny James? Even to force him to beat a heel, I guarantee, chance somebody gonna smack his ass one day just to milk the ratings out of it.
That's crazy, man.
But you're 100% right. You're 100% right. They allowed that Lonzo Ball situation to fall perfectly as he planned it. I think they would have gave him Jello if Jello didn't get caught fucking stealing in Beijing. He would have had all three sons in the league. They would have milked the fuck out of that. It would have been big baller brand. They would have allowed. I think they lost a lot of money him not getting all three of them in the league.
That, and they found out the businessman that his dad partnered with was finessing them out their bread.
Yeah.
And that right there made Lonzo basically step away from it. He took his brothers. He was like, yeah, man, we ain't BBB no more.
Nope, can't do it.
And that's when he went. That's when he went and got the big baller brand, tattoo covered up, and all type of shit. So if the sons don't even want to do with the damn brand, yeah, the brand gonna die off.
Yeah, that's an unfortunate situation. That could have been a beautiful moment for the NBA to really look back on 20 years from now. But I think it'll be forgotten. I think it'll end up being swept under the rug. I don't think there's nothing that's gonna really come from that, unless you think one of the brothers is gonna win a ring or have like major success. I think that'll fizzle out.
That's the thing with the NBA. Like the NBA, if they had the structure and they had the administration that the NFL have, man, the NBA would be in a much better place right now. The thing is with the NBA is you can highlight the individual play in the NBA better than you can in the NFL. You know what I mean? Because number one, in the NFL, it really is a team sport. Number two, everybody's wearing helmets, shoulder pads, etc. So the image itself is covered. You know what I mean? The uniforms and helmets and shit like that. In the NBA, I think it's much different to highlight an individual player, and the player itself stands out a lot more in the NBA. So to paint the picture that I'm trying to make, it's a reason why all this shit that you listing off that the NBA could have came back to 20 years from now, and it could have been a beautiful moment. That's the point I've been trying to make for the longest. The man at the man Adam Silver, he's sleeping at the wheel, man. He's sleeping at the wheel. There's no structure with this shit. And not to say that he has any impact with the big baller brands, business decisions and shit like that. I'm just talking about how everything is operated, man. Like I promise you, under David Stern, man, the ball would have already been rolling with a Bronny store.
Man, we might
We'd
have to do an
already knew
episode on this, bruh. We might have to do an episode on this. This David Stern versus Adam Silver NBA.
for sure. Man, David Stern was a motherfucker, bro. Like people hate the man because he vetoed the Chris Paul trade to the Lakers. But all that shit to the side, man. David Stern, bro. Man, rest in peace to Stern, bro. But man, it's not even close, bro.
Do you want
honestly? But yeah, we could do a segment on it for sure. You know what I mean? Like we can get more informative about it. Yeah, and make that a topic out of itself whenever we can. But that would be something to dive into for sure.
You wanna transition into the Malik I can't say his name,
Malik Beasley
situation. My bad.
Yeah, yeah, that's cool. That's cool.
Okay. I'm gonna do an intro on it just in case people are unfamiliar, because I know it was a topic, but I don't know if it got as much attention the day after it was a topic.
Okay.
But basically, for everybody that's watching, federal authorities are investigating the Pistons guard Malik Beasley on allegations of gambling related to NBA games and prop bets. The allegations are from the 2023-2024 season when Beasley played for the Milwaukee Bucks. That season, he averaged 11.3 points in 79 games, during which he made a career-high 77 starts. At least one prominent U.S. sportsbook detected unusually heavy betting interest on Beasley's statistics beginning around January 2024. A gambling industry source told ESPN. It says a gambling industry source pointed to a game between the Bucks and the Portland Trailblazers on January 31st. The odds on Beasley recording fewer than 2.5 rebounds moved significantly at sports books before the game, shortening from around plus 120 to around minus 250 due to a surge of action on the under. Beasley finished with 6 rebounds, and the bets that were deemed unusual lost. So right now it's an investigation. I don't think there's been he hasn't got no punishments or nothing, so no verdict's been reached, nothing like that. But it's just an investigation. And I want to go ahead. Yeah.
I want you to read like that last part like one more time.
Okay.
The part where you started to discuss
the odds.
Yeah, the odds.
Okay.
Like the part where you got to the point where you said the 2.5 rebounds and how the odds changed and everything after that.
So a gambling industry source pointed to a game between the Bucks and Portland Trailblazers on January 31st, 2024. The odds on Beasley recording fewer than 2.5 rebounds moved significantly at sports books before the game, shortening from around plus 120 to around minus 250 due to a surge of action on the under. Beasley finished with 6 rebounds, and the bets that were deemed unusual lost.
Gotcha. So, right before I jump into Malik Beasley, I'm going to go ahead and put this out there to anybody who actually bets. What he is reading to you right now, I'm going to try to make sense out of this as best as I can. Malik Beasley, and you were saying, so it was at plus 140 and everybody was betting under, right?
The odds went from plus 120 to around minus 250.
Right. So this is like, so all right, so this how it's going. So originally, so if the odds were at plus 120 for him to go under, that mean it was before the lines move, he was favored to go over that. So with the heavy money coming in, Vegas moved the line.
Yep. And he
And they
saw
said,
that. He saw them move the line.
right, he saw them move the line. Because when something goes from plus money to minus money like that, right before the game, that's called sharp money. That's when this is what people have to understand. Vegas does not care about getting the prediction right. What Vegas care about, and I'm trying to explain this to everybody that bets. Vegas doesn't care about getting the bet right. Vegas cares about having a balanced amount of money on each side. Because if you have 50% of people thinking that it can go this way, and you have 50% of people thinking it can go that way, well, Vegas, no matter what, they're going to get their cut at the end of the day.
Exactly.
But the difference is when you got 70% of the public on one side and 30% on the other side,
got to win that shit.
That's called liability losses.
Yep.
Vegas has to make sure they don't. It's called liability. You have to make sure. That's why I promise to anybody, whenever it's an overlapping amount of money on one side, the opposite side is going to win in the big games. So let me give y'all a prime example here. And y'all gonna hear about this once the NFL season gets underway. But my guy G, who I'm who we doing the chat with, he tells you, he gonna tell y'all this all the time. The games that you want to stay away from when it comes to betting are the prime time games. Those are the games that are fixed. The NFL, they don't really fuck with the 1 o'clock games like that. You know what I mean? If you see the Cardinals going against
the Jets,
let's say you see the Cardinals going against the Jets, 1 o'clock game. Vegas is not thinking about losing a shit ton of money on that game. They're not gonna fuck with that game. They're gonna let them dudes go out there and do what they do based on the storyline. That's how that's gonna go. But when you really see a lot of that wacky shit go on, like the mysterious comebacks, like, you know what I'm saying, teams all of a sudden want to start playing for real the last 3 minutes and 49 seconds, man, those are the games that have serious implications on them when it comes to money. And Vegas, depending on the night, they can't lose too much money. That's how this shit go, man. People got to really understand Vegas is not in business to win the bet. They're in business to make as much money as possible because, let me explain this so anybody that bets, and let's say you see you see Chiefs versus the Bengals. The Chiefs are favored at minus 120, right? This is what people got to understand. In order for you to win that bet, well, in order for you to make $100, you can't just bet $100. You have to bet $120 on a spread that's at minus 20. The reason why the spread is at minus 120 is because that 20 part of 120, that's Vegas cut. They get 10% of that, no matter what. That's called the juice. That's called the vig. Vegas eats that no matter what. That's their cut. So when you lose, that's all Vegas is getting. They don't care about winning or losing bets. They care about making sure the liability is on track.
Facts.
And that's why the primetime games are always going to be the games that the wacky shit go down with.
Yep.
I've seen it all. And playoff games.
I encourage everybody to go look up college football playoffs and look at the stats for look at Notre Dame playing their last. Look at every game Notre Dame played. Box score. So look at individual player stats. Look at Jeremiah Love and Jadarian Price in the first 2 games, and then look at them in the last 2 games. I need everybody to realize, like, I didn't think it would creep into the sports world like it did, I would say, over the last couple of years, as strong as it's been. But they are not allowing any game with credence or any game with remembrance. So think about seasons. You don't remember the regular season of any year. Nobody does. You might remember moments of the regular season. You might remember records, but you do not remember the regular season. You do, however, remember playoff games. They get etch-a-sketch burned into your memory brain. And it's usually through moments, or it's through just certain behaviors that happen during a game. So I know that most people will they'll do their first bets on like the NBA finals. They'll do it on the Super Bowl, and that shit is sick. Like, I think legally there should be some type of like structural I don't want to say because I don't know how much we could really have interference with people setting their parameters to what they want to bet. But if your first bet is the last game of a season, let's go by sports. So let's say you've always betted on baseball, but the first time you bet on the NBA is game 3 of the finals. I need y'all to really think about the shit you're doing. Like, not
For
only
real.
is it a desperate play, I think it's more so like you are asking for them to take advantage of you, because what they'll do is they'll run these promos and they'll run the promos and the promos. And the reason, if you remember on that first episode or that second episode where we talked about Prize Picks, the reason I went so hard on Prize Picks is because I think Prize Picks is a different level of egregious. I think they're a different level of
Yeah.
bully because they leverage celebrity influence on a whole different scale. So when they do their community plays and when they do their commercials, and everybody knows as far as like on YouTube, right? Certain YouTubers will have a prize pick promotion every video. And these are people that have nothing to do with sports. That's your first telltale sign. Why is a non-sports brand advertising a sports prop betting app? Why is that being a thing? Because what they're trying to get you to do is they're trying to say, look, this is easy money. If Drewski can give you a 2-minute promo run on and just think about that.
That's crazy.
We're not even
Yeah.
talking about a Spice Adams who is a internet personality who played in the NFL. We talking about a nigga that's never touched a fucking football field, never touched a basketball court unless it's a celebrity game. You are listening to his props, and they got plays, bro. They literally have boosted percentage outcomes if you follow one of their community member props, but you have to follow the whole play. So you can't pick the ticket. You got to follow the whole ticket. You can't cherry pick. That to me is like, I don't know how that's legally even allowed. We can get on the Malik Beasleys all day. We can get on the Calvin Ridleys all day. How the fuck are they allowing their brand sponsors to run community plays with boosted percentage on outcomes if they win it? And 90% of these shits are not hitting. It's damn near impossible for them to hit. So you got to start thinking like, the only time I encourage anybody to even use a player prop is if you are okay with losing a significant amount of bankroll or a significant amount of time figuring out the system. If you're trying to game the system, there's no other way to game it than to play it. If you're trying to figure out a way to kind of if you got, let's say, $100 extra free dollars a month that you usually go to the club with, or you usually go buy video games with, but now you're not really doing nothing. Maybe you want to see some short-term money turned into something. Play around with that $100. Maybe not the whole 100 the first month, but do $5 bets. Maybe 4 times, maybe four times a week, do $5 bets. You know what I'm saying? And then just spread that out based on different sports. But I'm telling y'all, what you're seeing with the Beasley shit is what's happening to everybody. Like, it's no way we believe in that Malik Beasley is the only player that got on Prize Picks and saw where his outcomes was and didn't tell his family, didn't tell the nigga he owed money to, didn't tell the casino he owed money to, didn't tell a friend that he don't really want to lend bread out to, but he know how shit is. These players have channels. And the fact that they're picking out this guy, it should tell you, if they do an investigation on the league, they doing a sweep. It's going to be a whole bunch of motherfuckers getting fucked up. I cannot tell you how many times, bruh, I be wanting to send you pictures of screenshots, especially these WNBA games. Oh my fucking, I'm talking about on the line. 6.5, that's the 6 is the margin. It's a 6.5 or it's a 5.5. Or it's a 6 to cancel out your bet. So what they do is they'll refund you that bet saying, okay, you picked the over on 6. So she didn't go over 6, but she hit 6. All that did was make it so that $10 play or that $100 play, it's not a $1,000 win. It's a $350 win. It's a $250 win. So they cashed out $150 on you because they pulled one of your lines and they shortened the odds of how much that was supposed to multiply. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah. I see that. That's why I got away from player props, because whenever it's a flat number like that, like 6, 7, 8, etc., instead of like 7.5 or 8.5, whenever it's a flat number, they just gonna give you a push.
Mm-hmm.
That's all the time what they do.
Mhm.
That's the gambling term for me. Whenever you hit the line exactly at it instead of going over or under, that's called a push. And all they're gonna do is they're gonna either void that off your ticket if you are
Exactly.
making a parlay, or they'll just lower the odds down.
Exactly.
So yeah, that's how it works. So but yeah, Prize Pick, that's how they work. I think Underdog do that as well.
Oh yeah,
Whenever you
underdog
get
is
a
creeping
push.
in. They creeping into. Let me ask you this before we even because I want to get back to the Malik Beasley thing, and I don't want to go too much on a tangent. Which one,
Okay.
just for shits and giggles, who? What do you think the sports book was? You think it was DraftKings? You think it was Prize Picks? Which one you think it was? We won't know, but I'm just curious what your answer is.
DraftKings or did they say how many times he did it? Or was it did they only list the time that he
I
played at two
guarantee
and a
it's
half
gonna be
rebounds?
more, but they only missed it that one time. But I know it has to be more. They wouldn't investigate him. But it does not say specifically if there was more times that he's done this. But they use
I
that
don't
as an exact
I
example.
think I think it was an actual sports book. I don't think it was a daily
You
fantasy
don't think
app
it was a fantasy app? Okay.
such as Prize Pick and Underdog,
Okay.
etc.
It
I think
said
it was
one
more so
prominent U.S. sports book.
prominent. So yeah, so they definitely talking about DraftKings, Caesars,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
FanDuel,
Mm-hmm.
shit like that.
Yeah.
One of those.
Because my vote was
That's what
DraftKings. That's what I was
yeah.
thinking. DraftKings.
Yeah, DraftKings, one of them, Bet US, like
Yeah.
Bet
Yeah. Yeah.
365. There's a lot of
Yeah.
them out there. But that ties into my point. Vegas, man, they in business to make sure they don't lose money.
Facts.
That's how it works. And anybody that bet, I want y'all to know. I say this. I'm gonna start saying this every episode. When it comes to telling other people picks, and I know it's very prominent now because every time you open up Instagram, you got all these betting accounts, etc. So they putting it in front of your face. Be careful what y'all sign up for. Be careful who y'all tell y'all plays from, man. People will sit out there and put out shit that look good, but it's all an illusion.
Yeah.
Anybody that's sitting there telling you they got an 80% win rate is lying to you. Anybody that tell you they got a 90% win rate is lying to you. Anybody that promises you they have a 100% win rate is lying to you. I want you to understand this. Anybody that has a 70, 80, 90, fuck, even 65 sometimes. If you are winning at that clip, these sportsbooks are flagging your shit and they taking y'all down. That's how it go, man.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's how it go. So that's just not gonna happen. So I just wanted to throw that out there because I know how it is,
Mm-hmm.
man.
Do you
I didn't. No, you can go ask your question.
you think Beasley, and I know I said this already, but I want to hear your opinion. You think Beasley's the only guy? I don't even want to ask you that. I feel like that's just it's not even gonna go nowhere. But you know what I'm
The only guy
saying?
that's
Not only guy doing it, but you think Beasley is. Let me ask you this: how do you think they're picking who they are gonna go after? And if so, if you don't think, okay, two-part question: do you think Beasley's the only guy doing it? And if so, or if not, how do you think they're picking who they go after?
okay. So no, I don't think Beasley's the only player that's doing it. And number two, I'm unsure of. I don't know why or what's their selection process in terms of who they go after.
Let me give you some
That part
context. Beasley right now
okay.
is, he was about to renew his contract, right? So
Okay.
this is the contract year for Beasley. And the Pistons said they ain't walking away from the table, but they let an investigation run through. Do you think him being on a contract year had anything to do? Because I believe they was gonna offer him $42 million for 3 years. That was the contract he was getting offered. And I'm just throwing
Okay.
that out there as maybe like, do you think they
Like
waiting
like
till these guys get money, or
but it's just like still like 3 years, 48 mil. Like
3 years,
that's
42
who you
mil?
decide to fuck with.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm thinking like, you know what I mean? I understand you still got it. about to sign for 5 years, 200. You know what I'm saying? Like some outstanding ass contract, but for that to be a guy who you know what I mean, trying to mess with when it's time to negotiate contracts just for 3 years, 48 million. I mean, if that is an angle, I wouldn't rule that out that they try to go after people. I mean, but I think it's more people doing that had contract years this year that got paid more money than him. I definitely believe that. I definitely believe that.
I want to
I
compare
definitely
this.
believe it.
I want to compare this to this article from ESPN, who I got this article from for the Malik Beasley situation. I want to compare it to a couple years ago to Calvin Ridley situation. So when Ridley got caught up, he got suspended for a year, and when his got announced, I think the decision was already made. Like I think it was like hand in hand. He's getting suspended for a year because he gambled. But his situation was the NFL released a statement Monday announcing his suspension, saying Ridley gambled on games over a 5-day stretch in November 2021 when he was on a non football injury list to address his mental health. Ridley stepped away from football on Halloween, saying he needed to get his personal life in order. In a series of tweets Monday after the suspension was announced, Ridley said he bet $1,500 total and that I don't have a gambling problem. He also tweeted that he could even watch football at the time he couldn't even watch football at the time he made the bets. He added that he's just going to be more healthy when he comes back and that I know I was wrong, but I'm getting 1 year, lol. The NFL determined that Ridley placed multiple or multi-leg parlay bets involving 3, 5, and 8 games that included the Falcons to win via his mobile device out of state. The NFL learned of Ridley's betting activity through its relationship within the legal sports betting industry. Ridley was also betting on other sports, including the NBA, for larger amounts and thousands of dollars during a 5-day stretch before Thanksgiving. It is not against NFL policy for players to bet on other sports. So he was betting on both the NBA and the NFL. He got on
Shit.
Twitter, I think, and was talking about not having a gambling problem, which is probably how he got flagged in the first place. Then they looked into it,
Yeah,
I'm
what the
assuming.
fuck?
Then they looked into it, and he was betting on his own team, but he wasn't in the game. Do you think that 1 year ban was overkill? Do you think the NFL should have just kept this shit internal and maybe addressed it personally without maybe reaching it out onto the league and suspension and all that? In comparison to this Malik Beasley situation, like what context do you feel like that gives us with knowing what we know with Calvin Ridley, who was the last player that I know of to get punished for this?
Didn't Jeff Okuda do that shit too?
Jeff had a situation, he got suspended.
And I think Jameson Williams. There was a couple of Lions players.
Oh shit, I don't remember. It's escaping me right now.
For sure. I remember it was like a little suspension, man.
Let me look them up too. I'm not seeing nothing for Okuda.
It probably wasn't Okuda. It was several Lions players have been suspended by the NFL for
Gotcha.
violating league's gambling policy.
Gotcha.
The violations involve betting on NFL games and/or betting from team facilities. 2 players, C.J. Moore, Quintez Cephas, were suspended indefinitely for betting on NFL games and suspended release by the team as well. 2 other players, Jamison Williams and Stanley Berryhill, received 6-game suspensions, later reduced to 4 for Jamison Williams
Yep.
for betting on non-NFL games from the team facility.
And it says,
And this
according
had
to
to,
league policy, NFL players and personnel cannot bet on NFL games, the draft, or any league-related activities under any circumstances. They also cannot place any bets while at a team facility or on team-related travel.
so yeah,
So they did a sweep. They did do a sweep in
for sure,
2023.
yeah, for sure, for
Yeah.
sure, for sure. Because this, damn, so
that shit didn't do nothing though, man. Like,
So this was April 21, 2023.
right. And the really thing was the year before. So
Right, yeah, right. So that
you
really
figure
shit didn't
they
do nothing.
triggered you figured they
Or did they?
Ridley opened the door to this being a problem. They did an investigation, probably found out through
Right,
Ridley or
right, right.
somebody that other players are doing it too. Spent a year investigating it, and then before the season started, they got their suspensions out the way.
Yeah. So yeah, it really opened the door for them to go in
Get
and look
into it.
through all this shit,
Yeah.
filter through everything.
But it's funny because, I mean, in my opinion, every year they just got more egregious with the point shaving, and they got more egregious with the on-field product being hurt. You get what I'm saying? Like, to me, it's like y'all are stopping the players from betting, but the shit is still seeping obviously into the game. Like, is there not a happy medium for the league to make their money, Vegas to make their money, and the product to not be overly molested? Is what I would say. Because I think people think of these things as like, y'all got to remember the league is not on the out. They're not the guys that don't know nothing. The league is not learning about this after the fact. They're responding based on what they have to respond to. So in this case, for whatever reason, Malik Beasley fucked up. I don't know if he told somebody because Ridley's situation caught up because he was on Twitter talking about it, right? We see that. I don't
Right.
know if Beasley maybe had a wrong conversation. I don't know if the IRS got involved and maybe he had some earnings that were not part of his contract that maybe got flagged and they found out it was because of sports betting. Who knows how deep this shit can get into? But I definitely think there needs to be a conversation on the fact that not only is this a normal occurrence, I think players are doing this every fucking game. And I think it's funny that we're pretending like there's a reason for players not to do this. Like, I want people to really tell me or think of for themselves what reason would a player have to not engage in this type of activity? Especially when you know there's no playoff chances happening for you. Um, you don't have to risk millions of dollars, and I'm not saying like they're trying to risk their careers, but I think the gambling industry already has their puppet strings attached to the leagues. That's my opinion. You get what I'm saying?
Yes. I feel like I feel like an individual is just out of touch if they assume that the leagues in Vegas aren't hand to hand or they aren't in business with one another. I feel like that should and is a no-brainer that Vegas works hand to hand with these leagues because it makes sense for both sides at the end of the day, whether you believe it or not. Okay. So like I explained previously, Vegas is going to get their cut regardless, just from bets happening on a day-to-day basis. Millions of dollars, thousands of dollars are wagered on these betting markets. Vegas, they want everybody to bet. Like I told you, they're going to get their cut regardless of if you win or lose your bet. So, and from the end, in the league's defense, if you're betting on your props, what that's going to make you do? That's going to draw you to the TV. That's going to make you watch the product because you got to make sure you got to look at the status of your bets. So don't y'all think that they working hand in hand with this shit? Because guess what? They getting they cut. Don't you think the NFL is getting they cut by pouring you in to watch the product on it? They're getting the viewership. All this shit is working hand in hand, man. All of it is working hand in hand. All of it. So if you put in a bet, person like me, I didn't really even care to watch the Super Bowl between the Eagles and the Chiefs. I honestly didn't care who won it. I knew what the storyline was going to be for either side if they won it, right? I watched Super Bowl for one reason. That's because I had a bet in. Once I seen my bet lost, once I seen the scores out of hand, I turned that shit off.
Facts.
It was
Facts.
nothing more to watch.
Facts.
So, but at the end of the day, NFL don't care about that shit. They don't care the fact that I decided to turn the game off at the halftime.
Nope.
They already got my set of eyeballs to tune in to watch the game. They
The
got my
rating is already
viewership
there.
already. You know what I mean? They got my count already. That's all that matters, man. That's all that matters. That's all that matters, and that's how the handshake work. That's how
Man,
the business deal work.
you know the shit I really hated though. Like just speaking between you and me, the shit I really hated over the last couple of years, man, is the league, and that's what I was mentioning with the football, college football analogy or comparison was. I don't like in these Super Bowl games, bruh. They just pull like I think for me, it's one of those things where why does a team have to play 17 games plus the playoffs to get to the Super Bowl where they completely lose their identity? Why does that have to be a thing? Why can't the
Yeah,
storyline involve the identity of the team? I don't understand what it is other than just obvious um, um, you dumping points in a on a side of Vegas wants you to say, okay, this is the obvious, take the obvious, we'll slip this way. Or you are waiting, you're anticipating the obvious, so you slip this way and we give you the obvious. I get that. But to me, it's like you can still get both of those things accomplished, but allow teams to remain with their identity. Because every season I've watched the NFL literally usher in a fourth string fucking wide receiver to get maybe one or two receptions in at a pivotal point in the game that he's never done the rest of the season just to make it so whatever prop you had on the three starting receivers, the two starting receivers, the slot guy, whatever prop you had on him, it's not gonna hit because fucking fifth on the depth chart is now gonna play 20% of the snaps this game. And it's so
right.
funny to me because it's like we have no control over that as an audience.
No
Like
control.
like you
No
you can't
control.
even think fairly in terms of like, okay, I remember looking at the Ravens. I remember the last game the Ravens played, and I remember thinking, you know what? I think Isaiah Likely. I remember I was looking at the receivers, and I'm thinking, okay, Lamar is not going to have a lights out game, but he's going to get enough of these receivers targets and receptions to where maybe the first or the second string don't hit their mark, but that second, third string are going to find a way to get open. I just remember getting fucked on all his receivers. And I remember thinking, if I didn't know football, I probably would have been okay. Like if I didn't have a brain, if I didn't have a football IQ, I probably wouldn't have outsmarted myself on these props. But every single time you think too deep into what football is or what basketball is, you're going to lose money. The
Real
best way,
talk.
the best way I can say it is the NFL is not a sport. Football is a sport. The
Real
sport
talk.
you love is football. The NFL is not a sport. So even if
Real
you thinking like even if you thinking to yourself, Derrick Henry should have 100 fucking yards on his defense any day of the week. I promise you, unless you can see a world where Derrick Henry is getting a Super Bowl MVP, he's not getting 100 yards. It's just, and it's one of those situations where it's like chances said it 100 times. They don't give the awards with the hardware, with the money. So if that motherfucker got one of those things, he probably is not getting the other two. So if he got an award
facts.
before that Super Bowl game came out, or if you know he's gonna win comeback player of the year, I guarantee you should stay away from his fucking props. Because what all that means is they gave him something. He got his pat on the back. The team gets their pat on the back. The no-name player gets his moment of fame that all he did was pull the points and the money away from your picks. That's it.
Boom.
So I think the gambling shit, to get back on topic, I think it's so convoluted. I'm trying to figure out how these leagues avoid lawsuits. I've been saying this from the beginning. I think a class action lawsuit is in store, especially for the gambling apps that they're allowing in all these states. I don't think there is enough. I don't want to say tutorial, but I don't think there's enough. Um, I think one day somebody can say, "How was I supposed to know what an assist was?" I think there's going to be a lawsuit that's going to say one day, you never explained to me what a rebound was. You never explained to me what points, rebound, and assist equaled out to. You never explained to me what fantasy score was. And while these apps do have definitions laid out somewhere on the app, I think until there becomes a full system of transparency, these companies are going to be in fear of lawsuits. And I think I'm wondering to see what the NBA, the NFL, and the MLB will do to distance themselves when these lawsuits do occur. Because right now they're attacking the players, but I think give it 5 more years and enough people lose their livelihoods on these apps, and you're gonna see lawsuits coming. I guarantee it. And I just don't know
For
how they're gonna
sure.
avoid it.
And we haven't seen. I'm not gonna say we haven't seen. I haven't taken the time to really do any research on if anything has come up with the MLB. But we know MLB have had way too many scandals. So we know it got to be something that when it comes to the MLB shit, in terms of players possibly betting on themselves or tipping off family members, etc. Yeah, I'll go to my grave saying it got to be something with the MLB.
What do you think about the
MLB,
performance enhancing shit with the MLB? Like, what if you get a situation where you made and lost X amount of money on Otani from the last 2 years, but then it comes out that he was using pads the last 5. You think there's any credence that somebody could go in there and be like, look, y'all fucked with my money because I didn't know he was taking the performance enhancing drugs. I should get every bit of money that I bet on him and lost. I should get that back.
I mean, that's
You see what I'm
that's a
saying?
point.
You see what I'm
That's a
saying?
point.
Like, I'm telling you, bro. It can go either way in this bitch. Either way. I think the gambling shit. My bad. Go ahead.
No, not to get off topic with the gambling. How do you feel about, and this right here, people that's unaware of this, y'all could do out research on this. But how do you feel about that lawsuit that the Jets fan filed against the NFL back in 2008, 2009?
I vaguely remember it. You gotta redraw my brain.
Okay. So back in 2008, the 2008 season, the Patriots played against the New York Jets, and Bill Belichick was going against one of his former coaches that was on his staff, Eric Mangini. I think that's what his name is. I think Eric Mangini was coaching the Jets, and Bill Belichick was obviously coaching the Patriots. And as right before the game, right before they was about to play that week, Mangini, he texts Bill and he said, "Bill, this week don't do that thing." And what ended up happening is Bill Belichick did that thing, which is that week whoever they're playing, they was spying on other teams' practices and getting the film and shit like that. So once the game started, Mangini, he watching his team get their backs blowed out. So he's seeing what the fuck is going on. So you know what he do? He get pissed off, man. He end up tipping the NFL off like, man,
That's
y'all
where it
might need
started.
to look at this shit.
Yeah.
Y'all might need to go do an investigation on this. And that's how that happened.
Yep.
So after all that got put in the wind and everybody got notice of that, that's when a New York Jets fan who's a season ticket holder, he sued the NFL because he felt like he was wrongfully, he felt like in that moment he was cheated out of what he paid for, which is a competitive contest. And the court, so the lawsuit ended up getting settled in like 2010. And then the courts actually sided with the NFL because in court, the NFL, they stated in court that they are a license under sports entertainment, and that means that when you purchase a ticket to come watch an NFL game, you're only paying for a seat to watch a live event. That's meaning that by it being sports entertainment, they have the right to fix all their games.
Exactly.
If they want to have a team go out there and lose 75-0, they can do that. You can't sue, you can't do nothing. That's why they end up winning that lawsuit in court. Because the NFL is licensed under sports entertainment.
Exactly.
Not a competitive sport.
Exactly.
That's two different things. Sports entertainment and a competitive sport is not the same thing. It's not the same. You want to know what else licensed under sports entertainment? WWE. When you go there and you get a ticket,
to that point. Go ahead.
When you go there and get a ticket and you watch Monday Night Football, if you go to the venue and you watch Monday Night, not Monday Night Football, but Monday Night Raw, and I want everybody to understand this. When they go to these different cities, most of the time, where y'all think they holding the event at? They holding it in that football stadium.
Literally.
Like they just setting up the show. That's y'all just buying a ticket to go watch a live event. Y'all watching a show.
Literally.
That's all y'all paying
It
for.
might as well be a concert.
That's all it is. That's all it is, man.
I'm a jump in right there because I got pulled up in 1989. Vince McMahon, the head of the World Wrestling Federation, testified before the New Jersey State Senate that professional wrestling was entertainment, not a competitive sport. This
Right.
testimony, along with similar state regulations or similar statements, I'm sorry, from WWF spokesman, was part of an effort to avoid regulation by athletic commissions who often treated wrestling like boxing or other sports. By classifying it as entertainment, the WWF could avoid paying fees and maintain greater control over their product. This decision marked a significant shift as it publicly acknowledged the staged and predetermined nature of professional wrestling. So up until that point, everybody needs to remember, right? You grew up as a kid thinking wrestling was fake. Up until that point, these people did not. Up until that point in time, people were not legitimately thinking to themselves with any real credence. You might have had like the skepticism to say maybe this ain't real. Some of this is kind of off. But motherfuckers was really like everybody to the public believed wrestling was wrestling. Now, to whatever extent you believe that, that's cool. But until this
Right.
happened, we never even had a sport get ridiculed for some fake shit like this. Now, boxing is one of those things where did he throw it in for the money? Was it rigged as far as the promotion? It could always be trickled down to the boxer or the management or the promoter. With
Right.
this WWF shit, think about the NBA. Just think about it. Just think about real comparisons. You got players that are saying that they're playing for championships and they're playing for contracts, but will not play
Mm.
all 82 games in the NBA season. So, with that being said, that means that the NBA team's identity is only as strong as the will of its best player. So, if LeBron says, I don't want to play
Right.
all 82 games, then guess what? Cleveland, or not Cleveland, I'm sorry, the Lakers are not going to ever have an 82-0 season. It's not even possible at that point. From jump, you can now say the Lakers will not go 82-0. Because when you think
Right.
about sports, if you take a key player away, what does that mean? That means the whole situation is flipped on top of its head. A favorite is now an underdog. A team that's meant to make the playoffs now has a chance of not even being a wild card team or a play-in team, whatever the case may be. So, with that being said, sports has way too many unpredictable factors. You're paying guys way too much money. You have guys with way too much health disparities. There is not a way for them to get a controlled product out unless they make it entertainment. That's why they had to make this shift. The reason the gambling gets into it is because now you have gambling from your iPhone. And that's a big deal because the average person was watching the NFL based on who they liked, based on
Right.
like what team they
Right.
supported,
Yep.
what guy they
That's a
liked
good
in
point.
college. Now you got the average fan that can say, I'm not even a fan of the NFL. I like Patrick Mahomes and I like Lamar Jackson, but I kind of just want to make some money off of it. So now it's damn near a form of income. So now all of us as fans can get a piece of the NFL pie. Do you really fucking think they care about the Chiefs dynasty? No, 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 no. The Chiefs dynasty is there because Patrick Mahomes is a really good way to get you to force money in favor of whatever. Like you got to think when the NFL posts Mahomes 274 up or down for passing yards, they making fucking bank every time. You know why? Because you're imagining it's Patrick Mahomes. Of course he gonna throw for
Yep.
300 yards. Of course he gonna have 3 touchdowns. Do you know how many games Mahomes throw for under 200? You know how many games Mahomes will fuck around and throw for under 250? Mahomes is not lighting the board. You know how many games Mahomes would go 275, have 0 touchdowns and 2 picks and still win the game?
Facts.
That's called taking your fucking money. All they did was run it through their system. Remember, when you see popular picks on these apps, when you go look at bets.us and the first seven props they give you to bet on is passing yards, touchdowns, completions, and then at eight they got interceptions. They got 35 yards passing in the first quarter, 100 yards passing in the first half. The lower you get on that totem pole, the less odds they have on that outcome. So those are your 50-50s. I always say when you look at like first quarter of NBA game, if there's a bet for that, that's damn near a 50-50 because of course LeBron's gonna get 20 points, but is he gonna get 8 in the first quarter? That's your 50-50. Your
Shit, yeah.
50-50 is like, okay,
Yeah.
am I betting on him finishing the game with 20, but does he start off hot or does he end the game hot? Because remember, he can get 20 and he can get 8 in the third, 8 in the second, but get 0 in the first, 0 in the fourth. Or I'm sorry, he can get whatever the point differential is, but miss out on one of those quarters. That's why they give you so many options. It's because they're running through their system. I'm going to let 30% of the players hit on this Patrick Mahomes name. But they not going. But 30% is not going to hit on passing yards. Probably 10% of people hit on passing yards for quarterbacks in general. I guarantee it. The fluctuation of how they line up these bets and what they do before the game starts is egregious. It should be set in stone from Monday and it should be ended on Sunday. It should not be allowed to move, and there should not be anything factored in to Vegas having another advantage over the consumer. There are too many advantages right now for them to go after Malik Beasley, for them to go after Calvin Ridley. There's too many advantages in their corner. It's too many. We having the wrong conversation. And I'm glad that the media is not overly entertaining these situations, but I do want the consumer to think if they're going after Malik Beasley, what other shady business are they trying to, I don't want to say cover up, but what other things are underneath the surface that you can't see? Just think about that. And then from there, I mean, I don't know, Chance, if you got better advice, but from there, I would say if you don't have the money to lose, don't ever think you have a sure bet. If you don't have money to lose, don't ever think you got a sure bet. It's not possible that way. It's just not set up.
Facts. And another thing is, if it looks too good to be true, stay away from it. It's a trap. That, my guy, is called a donation.
Yeah, literally. Thank you. Thank you for the bread. We appreciate it.
That's all it is. And let me just get 2 minutes real quick.
I will say in the meantime, I don't want this to be like I feel like every time we touch gambling or we touch the topic of gambling, we get into like dad mode with the whole don't do this shit. Do whatever you want to do. But I feel like for my conscience, and I know he probably felt the same way for his conscience, it's got to be some bit of pushback on the constant promotion of gambling. And so many people think they can, because they know how basketball works, they can make a gambling play. You cannot, my friend. Like, I've watched football my entire life, and I'm not hitting over 50% on football picks. It's just not a thing. Like, they're like, it's not within the sport for them to be as authentic to the league, or it's not within the league for them to be as authentic to the sport as they can be. It just doesn't make sense. They need those moments where a guy does a bonehead play. They need those minutes where JR forgets the time on the clock and all of a sudden, they need those moments. It adds to the league. It adds to storylines. So they're waiting for your money to be squandered because when these guys don't perform well, you hate them. You turn that energy into you lost me money. We saw it with fantasy. When fantasy was running their FanDuel fantasy leagues, their Caesar Sportsbook fantasy leagues, when they were doing that and making money on the fantasy side, what they were getting the consumer to do is say, look, I'm overly investing in Aaron Rodgers for the whole year. That's my quarterback for the whole year. If I want to win this $1,000 or this $10,000, Aaron Rodgers better show up every Sunday. So now when it's time to get rid of Aaron Rodgers or usher him out of the league, it's good riddance because he lost you money in 2018. He lost you money in 2019. But what happens when you get a guy like Jamal Charles, you get a guy like Chris Johnson, you get a guy that's going to show up for that 1 year and light that shit up, the Alvin Kamara, lighting it up for 2-3 years, you start falling in love with those players. So again, the NFL is investing you by putting money on the line because now you care. It went from not caring about how sports operated to now you care about the outcome of a game. You care about what Saquon does on Thursday. You care about if he gets hurt on Saturday. All these things are now factored in. Think about how much more attention you gave the NBA or the NFL because you put money on the line. He just said earlier, I wouldn't even watch that game if I didn't have money on it. They are eating big time off of the fact that your money is tied into your livelihood. They know you need this bill. They know you want to go on vacation. They know your girl wants something. They banking on you wanting this money. You get what I'm saying? The only time I've really had wild success consistently on any of these apps is when I didn't need the money. When I could just put lineups together and when I could sit there and say, you know what? I think he will fuck up tonight, 2 nights in a row. Fuck it. I put that up there. Okay, shit, I'm hitting 2 nights. But when I was overthinking it, when I'm looking at like, okay, so when he played the Chiefs last, what I don't know, man, because every time he played the Chiefs, don't do that shit, y'all. It ain't gonna work. It ain't gonna work.
Facts.
That shit ain't gonna work.
Facts.
That's just a waste of time, bro.
Facts. I agree heavily with that, man.
Yeah.
And then the whole display that they have on Prize Pick where they allow everybody to look at the last 5 games, man, that is a trap. Like, I hope at this point I think I would assume everybody has caught on to that by now, that them showing everybody the last 5 games, that going out the last 5 games is just gonna lead you straight to donations. So just stay away from that.
And ask
Because
yourself, why is it the last 5? But keep going,
right,
Chance. My bad.
right. I was gonna say, when you look at the prop itself and then look at the last 5 games, I just want everybody to just ask yourself this: don't y'all think that Vegas already factored in the last 5 games performed when they created the prop?
That's how they got the number.
Right. So you going out the last 5 games and you thinking that that is a telltale sign for you to pick the over or the under for a player, you're just giving your money away.
Giving it away.
Facts. That's a rookie move. You're giving your money away. Looking at the last 5 games, man.
What would you tell them to look at? Because if they're gonna say, okay, so what should I look at? Should I just guess? What would you tell them?
People, what everyone has to understand is that when it comes to betting, learning, winning is going to come from experience. You only improve anything through experience. Facts. It don't matter what it is.
Nope.
The more you do something, the more time you put into it, the longer you have the ups and the downs, you're gonna learn. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So when you're trying to factor in what side you should take with a bet, I'm gonna give y'all some pointers on what y'all should look for, right? A big part of betting that's not talked about is psychology. Because what y'all have to understand is that when Vegas makes these lines, they already have a pulse on what they think the public is gonna go.
Yep.
You get what I'm saying?
Yep.
Vegas already know. All right, we know how the public is gonna think. We know the like G said earlier. Man, you know what? We see that line, man. It's Mahomes. We know Mahomes could clear 250.
Yep.
You know what I mean? They already have a pulse on where the public. They already know. It's almost like the line is already shaped for the public. They know how to read people's minds. That's the wrong analogy. They don't know how to read people's mind. They have a pulse on where they think you will go with this outcome. That's all it is. It's not to predict in the future. It's not none of that shit there. Like I told you, like I told everyone throughout numerous times throughout this episode, they don't care whether or not they win or lose. They want to make sure the liability is in the right place.
Yep.
But when making these lines, y'all gotta understand, it's based on emotion because they know that's what majority of bettors, bad bettors who give away their damn money. That's how that's majority of the time how they lose their money. So it's always based off emotion. It's never based off critical thinking.
Yep.
So that's the difference between a better and a sharp better. A sharp better is gonna factor in a lot of the different outcomes when it comes to a sharp better is gonna know, you know what? It's a difference between a player who has to play on the road as opposed to at home. Because common sense is when you play at home, you sleep in your own bed, you perform better. But when you know a player got to play on the road instead, that's a lot different.
It's an uphill battle.
Right, right. So it's factors. It's different things you got to factor in. Another thing is motivation. Okay, how is that team sitting in their current standing? Is this a game that they really need to win to keep them in a race. Like, there's a lot of factors you got to factor in when it comes to betting. It's all based on psychology at the end of the day. Does a team have something to play for? Motivation. That's a big part of betting. How motivated is that team? I'm going to give y'all an example right now. It is 7:02, July the 12th, 2025. We are so close to the MLB All-Star break. So a time like this is a time you really don't want to throw hundreds of dollars on a lot of MLB games. You want to know why? Because players, man, they looking at the calendar. We so close to the All-Star break. A lot of players are losing their motivation. They like, man, we ready to go on our break.
They see the vacation coming right now.
Right. So that's like, I'm just giving y'all like certain tips here, shit that y'all gotta watch out for. Same thing applies in the NBA, right? If we in late January, let's say early February, and we already know the All-Star break is around the corner, you don't sit there and bet a bunch of money on LeBron to go out there and get 32 points and all that other shit.
Yep.
Man, LeBron is already looking at his vacation for the All-Star break. Certain teams, they packing it up early. They like, yeah, we not about to have you go play 39 minutes, man. All-Star break right around the corner. Come on, y'all. Y'all gotta look at certain stuff like that. But don't sit there and when you lose your prop, don't sit there and curse at the TV and be mad at coverage. Like, man, yeah, come on, man. So that's like advice that I give the people. Like I said, in every episode, I'm gonna start doing that. I know previous episode I gave everybody the tip when it comes to the Super Bowl, which is a good time to bet every year is always the Super Bowl week. Because what Vegas does is they fatten the pig, they juice it up.
Yep.
All they gonna do is they gonna let the public eat Monday through Saturday. All right, y'all, we gonna let y'all win y'all bets.
Right back.
They fattening the pig. They fattening the pot. But they already know. Everybody been feeling good. Everybody riding off emotion.
And
everybody
you keeping your money
themselves.
on that app. You keeping some of your money on that app.
Right.
Yep.
Everybody, they keep exactly. You keeping it on there. You flipping it every single day. You feeling good about yourself. Come Sunday, they already know, man. That's the most watched sporting event every single year.
They giving you free plays. They giving you a free pick. They giving
all
you
that shit and putting it in your face. It's the last football game of the year. No other games is on. All other games go off at like 2 p.m.
Yep.
At latest that day. All of the games they get out the way early. They want no parts of the NFL Super Bowl. So they know everybody about to watch the event. Everybody been winning all week. They about to throw money down for that Super Bowl. Vegas gonna take all that shit. All of that y'all won. Y'all sitting there looking crazy. Y'all got duked out y'all damn money. That's the one thing you don't do. When you winning all week, man, stay away from that damn Super Bowl. Or minimize your damn amount that you gonna wager.
So speaking of winnings, you start winning, right? Let's say you get on it. Let's say you get on some beginner's luck shit. This is your first time going at it. You hit on like 3 out of 5 bets your first 2 weeks betting or whatever. You get, let's say, 150 out of the earnings, or out of what you spend is your earnings, 150. How much do you keep in your pool to bet with, and how much do you pull off the app?
Okay. This is my advice for people. I feel like I will always be one to vouch for. You always want to bet long term. And I do feel like it's a difference between, when it comes to betting, gambling, and making a financial investment is two different things. So if you get on that app with, let's say, a couple of dollars, and your goal is, man, I want to flip this shit to, let's say, $500, because I got to get what I got to get off this shit. Or let's say you do get on there off some beginner's luck, but you look at it like, it's one way you can look. You can look at it like, man, I don't think I can hit this shit no more, so let me just get my bread off here and go about my day. Or you can look at it like, you know what? I want 150. Let me keep flipping it. What you want to do then, you want to look at this shit as a financial investment. So you want to look at this shit as a marathon, not a sprint. You want to look down the road. So once you get into the mindset that you're going to look at this as a financial investment, your timeline is 30 days, not 2 weeks, not 5 days, not 7 days, because if you look at it for a 4-month span, you're gonna embrace the ups and downs. You're not gonna sit there and be discouraged through the three losing streak days and shit like that. You're gonna look at it and be like, you know what? I could lose for 3 days streak, but I could also win 5, 6 straight days also. You know what I mean? That's the biggest problem with everybody because they want to get on there with $20, bust that down, $5 a piece. You know what I mean? Then when you lose all your money, your whole bankroll is lost. That's why. Stop trying to get on there and think you about to just
get $1 million. You about to hit, hit 10,000
bro,
or something.
If that's the case, take your ass to the gas station, spend $2 for a scratch off. Are you gonna be mad because you spent $2 and you couldn't win $1 million off a lottery? No, you know why? Because you're gonna look at it and be like, man, it's a lottery ticket.
Yep.
You're doing the same thing when you get on these gambling apps and make these 7-leg parlays and trying to put $10 on and flip it to $700. That's called a goddamn lotto. So y'all gotta be real with y'allself. But let's say you get on there, right? Let's say you get on there with $200. You know what? I'll give you one better. Let's say you get on there, well, let's say $100. You then want to play like $5 plays, man. For real. And I suggest you get on there with like $250. I suggest everybody get on there with about $250. And what you do then, you bust down $5 plays. But don't sit on there and wager $20 every single play. What you want to do then, you want to look at bets as units, right? So this is how I bet when it comes to betting, right? So let's say I was using $10. My bet size was $10 every play, right? I'm gonna give y'all some knowledge, you know, how y'all should bet. If y'all was betting $10 a play. So what you want to do is you want to use $50 as your most confident play. You want to use $40 as your fourth most confident. $30 as your third most, $20, etc. That's how y'all want to bet. And this is how you stay profitable throughout the month. Because like I said, let's say y'all go on a 3-day losing streak, right? Let's say y'all was losing $10 to $10, but let's say y'all go on a 6-day winning streak. What if on one day you are like, you confident, but you're only like $30 confident, and you win that bet. You win $30 in one day, you done already made back all that shit you done lost. Let's say the 4th day you feel so confident, you feel like this a max play right here. I feel like this is my most confident play of the week. You throw $50 on that shit. Now you up 5 units instead of just putting $10 on it. That's how you stay profitable throughout the month, because you're gonna go through insane winning streaks. You're gonna go through your losses, but it's on you to do deep research on your bet, number one. Because you gotta know every betting slate is not going to be good. But that don't mean you throw down just because you got funds that day. There's gonna be days where it's some shitty matchups, but you just feel like betting. Then you'll just put your money down on any damn thing. That's how you lose. You have to take the emotion out of betting when it comes to gambling. You have to do that. You have to do that.
That was solid advice.